Firedale is first, even though he isn't, but he is, cause he's the first to make me talk this stream. Little Chaos Ghost is actually first though, but not first for this, just first for that. First is first, except when it's not first.
Well, that's one way to say hello. I didn't expect that. Get him broke. Why is this so loud? Just turn the music off. Not kidding. We're gonna chill its head. Because this game wants to, make me go deaf. What's she yelling? Oh no, she can't reach your water! Oh no! Hang on, guys. Okay, go! Cookie, what? No. The fan was in front of my dog's food and water, so she couldn't reach it. It is, like, ungodly hot out here. Like, we're under a heat advisory. I never get first. I never made the redeem for first. So I guess you're first, technically. But yes, Mallow is fixed, as you guys can tell. But I have gotten word recently, as you guys watch my character move around the screen and kind of funkadunk that Kalea's art is almost done, actually. The coloring, the base color was just finished today. So we won't have Mallow for much longer. Mallow will probably move on to other things. I know what I'm probably going to do with Mallow. I just don't know what I'm going to do with Mallow yet. But Kalea's little pet's almost done. So Kalea will be joining us soon. Also, we're playing Tyrion Cuthbert, Attorney of the Arcane. And from what I understand about this game, it is fantasy met Ace Attorney. And that's about all I know. Somebody on Steam compared it to like D&D met Ace Attorney. I don't know how true that is, but we're gonna find out anyways. Oh, stars. There's even cases? It isn't like a one-shot? Ooh, I like this. Cold-hearted aristocrat, The Walking Dead, The Origins of Ours, Severed Ties, Attorney of the Arcane. Well, you are hideous. I'm kidding. I can't. You look like someone I want to punch in the face, though. But, let's just go. Let's start from episode 1. No, I want to start from episode 20. The fields of battle are filled with suffering and despair. On them are a clash of souls. Souls brought to conflict by the corrupt powers that rule over them. I was transporting a client in my carriage that evening. What'd you do, sir? We were driving by the McCoy Tavern when we heard a disturbance. I was worried that something was amiss, so I walked into the building to see what the commotion was. Okay, so you're a servant, you're 34, and you have no form of arcane art. I like this art style, though. I'm vibing with it. There I saw the defendant. She was lit by the blue glow of the dining room lights, and she was stabbing the victim with her magical sword. Objection! Tyrion Cuthbert, occupation defense attorney. He's only 20? Man, what'd you do? Go to law school when you were a baby? Arcane art none. Okay, I might have to change some of this though, because you guys saw how kind of funky dunky that was. That objection was kind of wonk. Can I change the graphics? VSync. What's VSync? Yeah, I don't know what any of this is, so we're actually gonna leave it, because I don't want to fuck with it. What's this? I don't want to fuck with it. I don't want to know. Is this safe? Ah ha ha ha! I found the save. What's this? Okay, that's the text log. What's this? Oh, no. That's the return. Okay. What's this? Dude, there's spells up in this shit. And there's my clues. Okay. Okay, I'm done messing around now. And you supposedly saw her casting magic while doing so. Yes, I could never forget such a grisly sight. That moment was burned into my memory. I see. Well, it's funny that you say that. How so? Because your entire testimony was a complete lie! What? Objection! Oh, okay. We're getting into it already. We're getting into the objecting. Are you accusing the witness of perjury? I'm not calling them a truther. Oh, you have an arcane. You're 18? What do these people do? Go to law school when they're babies? But you have an arcane art. So now that I know you, can I know, like... No? Arya Steelwind. Are you you just called the person our witness Mark? Are you accusing the witness of perjury? I ain't calling him a truther. Surely you know that such accusations can't be made lightly, Mr. Cuthbert. My accusation is far from baseless, Steelwind. Think about the state of the crime scene at the time of the murder. The witness couldn't have seen anything, much less a homicide. He knows something. Man, how are we getting into this already? And I don't even know what crime has taken place yet. So he knows something. But on this battlefield, there are still a few people who carry the ideals of justice within their hearts. But you have to wonder sometimes, are these ideals truly just? Or are they simply lies fed to us by our elders? Oh, damn it. Oh, jeez. Damn it! Flintheart, you fool! Why couldn't you have just listened to me? Who is you? Rudolph, I require your assistance. Yes, sir? By the Scaled Lord! What did you? You killed him! Alert the town guard. Tell them that you saw his daughter fleeing the scene. I'm sure their neighbors heard them arguing with each other. They'll immediately suspect her. Rudolph looks like Mark. I can kind of see it, and I don't like that you're right. At once, sir. The cold-hearted aristocrat. Earlier that day. You feel yourself slowly succumbing to unbearable pain. You don't think you'll be able to survive this much longer. Are you sure you're okay, Cuthbert? You look like you're about to pass out. Ruby Tamora. And you're also an attorney. Don't worry about me, Miss Tamora. I'm fine. You've both been riding in this carriage for days. You are definitely not fine. With each bump in the road, you feel yourself becoming more and more nauseous. It's taking every ounce of willpower just to hold down your lunch. I'm perfectly fine, if you say so. You feel the carriage drive over a large bump in the road. You can feel and hear your stomach retching in protest. The stew you ate for lunch doesn't taste nearly as good the second time. On second thought. That's better. You take a deep breath of fresh air. It's the first breath you've taken today that hasn't threatened to come back out. Sorry about this. I didn't expect the road in this town to be so uneven. I suppose they don't get a lot of traffic here. You've been on the road with your mentor for days. Together, you've been searching for a man named Flintheart McCoy. Supposedly, he's been a voice of distance against King Oliver for the last few decades. You have no idea what kind of business Miss Tamora would have with him, but you know better than to ask questions about her affairs. Hello, travelers! Welcome to Gourdhaven! A local merchant steps out from one of the nearby shops. He has a wide smile on his face, and he approaches your carriage with enthusiasm of a starving vulture. Would a pair of dignified individuals such as yourselves care for a refreshing drink? Those clothes, they must be from the city. He certainly has a friendly expression, but his thoughts seem very analytical. Well, I don't need a drink, but Miss Tamora glances at you, and your stomach rumbles in agreement. Ah, of course, I have just the thing for an upset stomach. With a carriage like that, I bet I could fleece them for a lot. His thoughts and emotions are laid bare through your eye of Horus. But the merchant's expression doesn't betray a hint of what he's truly thinking. You wonder if his false smile could get any bigger. At this rate, he might dislocate his jaw. How about 2 flasks of apple juice for 50 silver pieces? 50 silver pieces? You may find the price daunting, but this is organic and fresh-made apple juice. It's just store-bought juice, but I bet they can't even tell the difference. At the corner of your eye, you spot an empty bottle of store-bought apple juice. It's resting on a table inside the merchant's shop. You didn't try too hard to hide that, my guy. Store-bought apple juice has been added to your notes. Tyrion will make mental notes of notable clues he sees in the world. These notes are instrumental to solving mysteries and progressing through the game. You can check these notes at any time by opening the toolbar in the top left of the screen. Neat. Trust me, it's worth the extra gold. Normally, the price wouldn't matter that much to you, but you don't appreciate being treated like an easy mark. Ooh! I need to fix that. I like this music. You started an argument with another character. During an argument, your opponent will make claims that you need to respond to. Responding correctly will lower your opponent's confidence. Responding incorrectly will lower your confidence. And once you run out of confidence, you will lose the argument. I think you need to elaborate. You said that this apple juice is organic, but where is it made? It's produced by the hardworking people of this town, of course. I only trade organic products. In a small town like ours, we only deal with locally sourced products. Present. You say that, but I can see an empty bottle of store-bought juice inside your shop. Why would you have something like that if you only deal with organic products? Uh-oh, how did that get there? Make no mistake. Yeah, this is also kind of like Tears of Themis, but I was thinking more Ace Attorney. Well, then Tears of Themis is kind of like Ace Attorney met dating game, so... I only have that because I wanted to see how my products compare to that of the city. And let me tell you, that mass produce slop doesn't even compare to my product. What an obvious lie. This juice is worth far more than what I'm offering. Honestly, I'm offering you a very good deal. Interpreting during arguments. For certain claims, you will need to look at your opponent's thoughts and emotions. Choose the correct response depending on the information seen. Logic. Choose this option if your opponent's thoughts contradict something in your notes. Intuition. Choose this option if your opponent's thoughts contradict their claim. Empathy. Choose this option if your opponent's emotions contradict their claim. Okay. This juice is for far more than what I'm offering. I usually only sell this stuff for 5 silver piece of flask. There's no displayed emotions, so I'm guessing intuition. Sir, it's obvious those flasks are only worth 5 silver piece. Hey, hey, hey. Look, I'm getting the hang of this. What? How did you... Well, it's clear you're a very shrewd man. Right. Hey. Oh, okay, hang on. I'm so thirsty. Okay, hang on, thirsty child. I want to try to fix the thing. What is VSync? Keyboard inputs, controller input. Nah, we're using keyboards up in this bitch. What is VSync? Yeah, I still haven't set up alert command. No, I haven't set it up. I've been, just to be a bit lazy. What is VSync count? You can tell I'm not smart when it comes to these things. What is VSync count? Okay, so I have it disabled. Maybe it should be 4 and that would fix the stuff. We'll see. Yeah. I'm so thirsty. Out of the corner of your eye, you spot a child watching you from afar. Why is it so slow? Is it because I changed the VSync count? Okay, jeez, maybe it should be 1. Her eyes are fixed on the flask of apple juice. Hi, Althemia. Hope you're doing well and having a good stream so far. Hi, Rio. Oh, you redeemed stuff. Thank you for the hydrate and the pasta check. Oh, I'm glad that's working. I've had to pause for a minute when I saw the head pat redeem. I was like, did I refresh that thing? I did. I smart. How about 20 silver pieces for 3 flasks? Of course, sir. Ow. The Kingdom of Wyvernguard, established around 2,000 years ago by the 7 High Archmages. The kingdom is currently ruled by King Oliver de Wyvernguard and the mages of his nobility. The nobility will tell you that our marvelous kingdom is a land of prosperity and happiness. I'm staring at the dragon. Like, is that actually a dragon statue, or is that a dragon encased in stone? A land where its people share the wealth and secure provided by the kingdom's magic. Thank you. I haven't had anything like this in years. The child's passing thoughts tell you exactly how much succor the kingdom is sharing. I didn't know you had such an eye for rural economics. If not friend, then why friend-shaped? What the... What? Well, I suppose I have good intuition for this sort of thing. Or did you use another kind of eye? Don't get me wrong, your so-called Eye of Horus is an amazing gift. You should take every opportunity to hone it. But try to be more subtle next time. If I can see through you, others will be able to as well. If it is encased dragon, it is friendship. Yeah, you're right. See you later, See you later, little chaos ghost. Thank you for coming out. Alright. Anyways, I did some asking around while you were haggling. Supposedly the McCoy Tavern should be north of here. If my tip is correct, this should be the place. Wait. This is the McCoy Tavern. With the state it's in, calling it a tavern is pretty generous. You find it hard to believe that this has a secret meeting place for distance. But now that you think about it, maybe that's the entire point. The tavern has been shut down for years. Nowadays, Cuthbert just uses it to host his rallies. Although, I do wonder how they've been keeping themselves afloat for this long. Hey, you lot! The McCoy Tavern is closed! I don't know why I said it in that accent. A gruff man approaches your carriage as you step out of it. He's eyeing you and Miss Tamora, a kind of look of contempt on his face. I take it that you're Flintheart McCoy? I am. What of it? Flintheart McCoy. Occupation, unemployed. Sorry for not writing ahead of time. But I'm Ruby Tamora. I wanted to speak with you. Ruby Tamora. Wait, the Ruby Tamora? Any animosity he initially had immediately vanishes. He lets out a laugh. It's as if he were meeting an old friend. Why didn't you say so? Come on in. You didn't expect someone like him to know about Miss Tamora. But you suppose it makes sense. They both fight against the same enemy. Albeit in different ways. Sorry about the mess. We haven't exactly been... well, anyways. What brings you here? I take it you didn't journey all this way to see my wrecked tavern. I'm here on behalf of a client. We have a proposition that you might be interested in. Is there anywhere where we could talk more privately? Sure, the kitchen is empty. Wonderful. Tyrion, stay here while I speak with Miss McCoy. What? If you need my help, there's no need for that. Like hell there's no need for that. If she's trying to make a deal with Flintheart, you can easily read his thoughts to help her. You desperately want to object, but she shoots you a stern look that causes you to freeze up. You slowly look away from her. Okay, fine. You spend some time waiting alone in the tavern's dining area. It's already been hours since Miss Tamora and Flintheart went to talk in the kitchen. You can hear faint murmurs from behind the closed door, and you've been resisting the urge to eavesdrop. But even from here, you can tell that their conversation is slowly becoming more frustrated. It looks like they're going to be a while. Well, it's a good thing you always bring a chess set around. You bring out the small chessboard that you've carried around since you were a child. Chess can be played with one person, and you've always taken advantage of that. Checkmate. You win against yourself. This time as black. He mutters. I've played 10 games already, and I've won 7 out of 10 times as black. Hello? Statistically, white is more likely to win. Unbeknownst to you, you're thinking out loud. So why am I performing so much better when playing as black? Hello? You still don't notice her, and you're verbalizing your thoughts just as fast as you're thinking them. Am I becoming overconfident as white because it has a first move advantage? Or perhaps that very advantage is affecting my choices and making me play in a suboptimal manner. If a personal quirk is making me play illogically, then I need to correct it. Hey! Ah! What? How long have you been standing there? It's about time you noticed me. I've been trying to get your attention for a while now. Uh-oh. Sorry. Do you know where my dad is? Your dad? Flintheart McCoy. I'm his daughter, Celeste. Name, Celeste McCoy. Occupation, mercenary. Oh, Flintheart is speaking with my mentor right now. Aw. Was he about to call her mom? I want to show him something. Do you know when they'll be done? I don't know. They've been speaking in the kitchen for a while now. You hear Flintheart and Miss Tamara's voice is getting louder and more frustrated, but Celeste doesn't seem to notice. Her eyes seem to be focused on your chessboard. This is chess, right? Are you playing against someone? Oh, I'm playing against myself, actually. Oh, that's... You feel a judgmental stare. playing alone helps me develop new strategies. Playing professionals do it. Hey, I'm not the type to shame a man for playing with himself. That's... Relax, I'm just joking. Anyways, if you're still waiting for your mentor, do you want to play a game? Oh, she has an arcane art, transmutation. So, do I get to know this stuff now? Okay. Ah, so it doesn't tell me like the arcane arts and stuff still. So it says we don't have an arcane art, but we have like this Eye of Horus thing, which is gonna be in this game. Oh, you know how to play? Sure. I've read about this before. She's read about it? This table is so dusty. Celeste takes a seat on the other side of the table. She tries to set up her side of the board, but fumbles with the pieces. She stares at one of them, confused. How do I arrange these things again? A part of you regrets accepting her challenge, but it would be impolite to back out now. Here, I'll arrange them for you. Thanks. Checkmate. You defeat her in 2 moves. Wait, what? Already? How did you do that? You decide against telling her what the name of that mate was. Rematch me. I want a do-over. Sure, why not? It's not as if you have anything better to do. Celeste's brow furrows as she tries to decide on her next move. But she hasn't realized that the game is already finished. Here. She moves her knight into a position to attack your queen. It should have stopped your assault on her king, but checkmate. A scholar's mate this time. What? Come on, how do you keep doing that? You look at the closed door to the kitchen. Feeling her and Mr. Morris' discussion is becoming louder. It doesn't sound like they'll be done anytime soon. Again, I'll definitely beat you this time. For someone who had clearly never played before, she's quickly improving with each game. It's impressive. She's observing your strategies and adapting them to her playstyle. With the way she's playing now, she could even defeat a nationally ranked noble. Checkmate. But even so, you've been playing this game for a lot longer than she has. How are you always one step ahead of me? It's like you're reading my mind. As if you'd even need to. Just one more game. I'll get you this time. Hello, Cuthbert. Mr. Mora emerges from the kitchen with Flimmer. They both look mentally exhausted. It looks like the negotiations didn't go well. Hi, Dad. Oh, hello, sweetie. Flintheart looks irritated, but as soon as he sees Celeste, he quickly hides it behind a smile. You wonder what their discussion was about. What's this? Some kind of game? Mr. Mora glances at pieces on the board. Don't feel too bad about losing to him. He's nationally ranked. Oh, you're a professional? Is that why you're wearing a suit? No, chess is just a hobby. I'm actually a defense attorney. An attorney? Speaking of which, we should probably be on our way. Sorry for refusing you after you came all this way. I really respect what you're doing. But I don't want anything to do with your mage friends. Aww, Celeste got sad. You wonder what he meant by that. Was Mr. Mora trying to introduce him to one of our clients? Anyways, it is getting late. If you leave now, you won't get back to the city until morning. She's right. This region is littered with bandits and brigands. You wouldn't want to run into them this late. I guess you have a point. There are plenty of empty rooms that you can stay in until morning. It's the least I can do after you came all this way. Well, if it's not too much trouble, we might as well stay here until tomorrow. The tavern is shut down, but we still have some sheets and blankets. I'll go get the rooms ready. She's so sweet. Celeste and Flintheart leave the dining area to get your rooms ready. You're left in the dining room with Mr. Mora. So, I take it that negotiations didn't go well? No, I didn't expect him to be so stubborn. Honestly, I have no idea what that man has against mages. Well, there's one way to find out. Why are you being so secretive? If your business with Flintheart is related to our clients, I can help. It wasn't important. Your presence was not necessary. That's such an obvious lie, but you can't read a single thought from her mind. She said years of practice hiding her thoughts from the Eye of Horus. Celeste enthusiastically came back downstairs. She seems to have noticed the tension between you and Miss Tamora. Sorry to interrupt, but your rooms are ready now. Alright. Thank you. An awkward silence hangs in the air as you and Miss Tamora head upstairs. You reach the upper hallway and see the 2 rooms that Celeste prepared for you. Miss Tamora stops before entering her room. You were playing chess with Finlandhart's daughter earlier. Was she any good? Not at first, but she got a lot better as we kept playing. I'm sorry for leaving you there for so long. I didn't expect our discussion to last that long. No, it's fine. Despite everything, I enjoyed playing against her. I see. Well, I suppose you are at that age. No, it's not like that. It's just that outside of tournaments, I never really get to play against another player. And you only ever want to play shogi against me. Because shogi is clearly superior. It's complete anarchy, is what it is. You just bring fallen pieces back to life like some kind of necromancer. It adds depth, dropping ads on a dimension of play that isn't present in chess. You certainly look at each other, your position's already made. After a few moments of silence, you both burst out laughing. I'm sorry if it looks like I don't trust you. I know you're just trying to help. But there are some things about my work that I just can't tell you about yet. But one day, I'll tell you everything. Right. I'm sorry for prying. I just want to show you I'm ready to be in a journey. You are. I know you are. The rare praise from your mentor catches you off guard. Anyways, get some rest. You should mentally prepare yourself for the journey tomorrow. Right. You completely forgot the carriage ride back. You can already feel your stomach churning in protest. You lay in the bed that the McCoys prepared for you. And as you close your eyes, you slowly drift into a deep slumber. I'm loving this music. As this happens, you feel something invasive. Your mind drifts away, and you feel yourself being pulled elsewhere. You find yourself in a surreal and unsettling landscape. You're fairly certain that you're dreaming right now, but some instinct in the back of your mind tells you that something is fundamentally wrong about this. Excuse me? Who is you? You see a woman in the far distance. She's staring directly at you. What presents? She's murmuring something, but she can't quite make it out. Is she trying to say something to you? Finally found. I couldn't even read it fast enough. Not you. Who's the other one? I finally found you, Heavensborn. Interesting. You're jolted wide awake. You can't exactly remember what that woman said to you, but whatever her words were, they sent a piercing chill down your spine. And your breath is heavy and your heart is beating at 100 miles per hour. Calm now. It was just a dream. At least, that's what you try to tell yourself. But please, just let me explain. I don't want to hear it. You hear the voices of Celeste and Flintheart ring out from downstairs. It must be extremely late. What could they be possibly arguing about at this hour? I want you out of my house! Out! A dead silence lingers in the air before you hear someone rush out of the tavern. Whoever left slams the door behind them. What was that all about? It's none of your business. You only met those two today. It'd probably be best not to get involved in their affairs. And as you tell yourself that, a brief image of Celeste's smile appears in your mind. Damn it. You slowly make your way out of your room, but the hallway is nearly pitch black. You can barely see a few inches ahead of you. You have to watch your step to avoid tripping. You run into Flintheart, who is slowly walking up the stairs. Even this close, it's hard to see his expression in the darkness. Sorry, I just heard... Right, I forgot you two were... His words trail off. Is everything okay? He's upset, and he's shocked. Sorry, I'm just going to... You awkwardly shimmy past Flintheart to head downstairs. He doesn't move out of your way. It's clear his mind is elsewhere. You arrive at the dining room, but you don't see Celeste anywhere. Honestly, though, it's hard to tell with how dark the room is. Celeste, are you still down here? You don't receive an answer. You remember hearing someone slam their front door earlier. Your eyes are drawn to the tavern entrance. Celeste? No answer. Celeste, where are you? The merchant you spoke with before steps out from his shop holding a lantern. He appears to be irritated by all the noise you've been making. Oh, you're that kid from before. Do you have any idea what time it is? This isn't the city. You can't just make a bunch of noise like this. Alright, sorry. I was just looking for Celeste. Who? Celeste McCoy. She's Flintheart's daughter. The merchant's expression becomes a little colder. Do you know them? What do you want with that bastard? That damn mage. What? Those two probably woke up half the street with all their yelling. I don't need you keeping us up too. If I hear any more noise, I'm going to call the town guard. Before you can get a word in, the merchant walks back into his home in a huff. You look around, but you still don't see any sign of Celeste. You decide to continue searching. I can't believe I said those things to her. She'll never forgive me for this. I see your temper is as short as ever, Flintheart. You! Honestly, how did you live in this darkness? Luxo! What are you doing here? And how dare you bring that witchcraft into my home? You've been busy lately. Your little rallies have gained quite a lot of support. Too much support for my family's liking. And what? Came all this way to convince me to stop? You have my word. If you stop spreading dissidence, no harm will come to you or your family. Ha! Your word is as good as the dirt you lick off of King Oliver's boots. As if I'd ever trust the words of a murderer like you. Flintheart, please. As someone you once called a friend, I'm only going to ask you one time. Friend? Friend? I'll be dead in the ground before I ever call the likes of you a friend. Get out of my house. I don't have time for your nonsense. Unfortunately, I don't think you'll have much time for anything. Ooh! Gah! Damn it! Damn it! Flintheart, you fool! Why couldn't you have just listened to me? Okay, Firedale. Rudolph, I require your assistance. Yes, sir? By the Scaled Lord, what did you... You killed him? Alert the town guard. Tell them that you saw his daughter fleeing the scene. I'm sure their neighbors heard them arguing with each other. They'll immediately suspect her. At once, sir. You've been searching for Celeste for a while. How long have you been outside? 2 hours? 3? However long it's been, it's clearly taking a toll on you. Where is she? What am I going to do now? You hear a faint voice. Could it be? Oh! As you peer behind an old tree, you finally find her. She looks just as tired as you are, probably even more so. Her eyes are puffy and red, but she's doing her best to hide it with a smile. I've been looking all over for you. Oh, sorry. I'm guessing we woke you up. One second, guys. Yeah. Is everything okay? It's nothing. It was just an argument. An argument with no anger, just shock and sadness. But from the way she reacted, this is clearly not common. You suppose that's none of your business. You decided not to pry further. Have you been looking for me all this time? I have. Thank you. But I'm okay now. You should head back. What about you? I think I'm going to stay out a little longer. You know that you should mind your business, but I'm sure whatever happened between you two, it's nothing you can't talk out. It doesn't happen a lot, but sometimes Miss Tamora and I get into fights too. But no matter what happens, we're always able to talk through it. Sorry. I know it's none of my business, but No, I really appreciate it. Thank you. Now she's happy, sad, and confused. You're right. Let's go back. Oh boy. What? You're right back at the McCoy Tavern. But it's now surrounded by several carriages and knights clad in plate armor. Is that the Inquisition? What? The Arcane Inquisition. They're an order of knights that investigate crimes committed using magic. As you say the word crime, you and Celeste share a glance and come to the same realization. Both of you rush towards the tavern, but Celeste outpaces you by a large margin. What? No. Oh! She reaches the tavern before you, and before anyone can stop her, she takes a look inside the inn. Whatever she saw makes her cry out in English. She drops to the ground in tears. There she is! Celeste McCoy, by the authority of the Wyvern Guard Crown, I'm placing you under arrest. Upon seeing Celeste, one of the knights steps forward and grabs her. Surprisingly, she's able to break free from his grip and tries to push further into the tavern. Noticing the commotion, 3 other knights rush to grab her and begin dragging her away. She kicks and screams against them, desperately trying to break free. Even between the 3 knights, it's taking all of their strength to subdue her. What are you doing to her? What is going on here? Tyrion! Miss Tamora approaches you. You breathe a small sigh of relief when you see that she's okay. Miss Tamora? Bah! I should have known that he was one of yours. Just stay out of our way. Miss Tamora, what's going on? Why is the Inquisition here? I'm surprised myself. But from what I understand, Flintheart McCoy has been murdered. Murdered? Yes, I would. Save here, please. Yes, please. You follow the Inquisition back to the city where Celeste is being detained. Posture check! Ow, my butt. And due to the supposed nature of the crime, her case would be pushed to trial immediately. But many elements of the situation still don't make sense. The Inquisition only investigated crimes committed using magic. So why is Celeste their prime suspect? Could she be a mage? This is ridiculous! She has a right to speak to an attorney. Anyways, you find yourself met with another hurdle. A very frustrating one. And a stretch. And you stretch. Ooh, that stretch made me yawn. Yeah, well, we can't let you see her until she's been processed. Her trial is in an hour. How has she not been processed yet? I don't know what to tell you, kid. I wish I could help. You don't need to use the eye to know that that's a complete lie. So, you're really planning on defending her? Do you know if she can even afford a lawyer? I just can't stand here and do nothing. You saw him, didn't you? There's no way she would murder her father like that. I know that look. I was saving this for a special occasion, but I got a runestone. A magical runestone that allows you to take pictures of crime scenes and write notes telepathically. Every attorney has one. It's almost like a badge for them. What's wrong with my eyes? Yeah, my eyes will bug out for a bit. Hang on. Move this a little bit lower. It's because one side of my face isn't as lit as the other because my lamp isn't perfectly centered. I see nothing wrong with my eyes. And leave my glasses alone. This is an attorney's runestone? If you're going to defend her, you're going to need one. You begin to tear up. You've wanted one of these ever since you were a child. It's basically a badge of honor for attorneys. Even if wonky on occasion. My Allie, you have beautiful eyes. You know what I say to y'all, Allie, you have beautiful eyes? I say, bleh. I did nothing wrong. You did all that wrong. Don't cry, Cuthbert. Sorry. Anyways, keep one thing in mind. If you try to defend her, the Inquisition isn't going to fight you fairly. Our court system only exists to create the illusion of justice. They hate people like us, and they'll do everything in their power to sabotage you. Damn it, you knew that they'd try to get in your way. But you didn't expect them to do it this blatantly. Ugh. What's with all this noise? You're that knight from the tavern. That's Commander Orium White to you, kid. Name, Orium Wright. Occupation, knight. Occupation, a pain in my ass right now. I had a feeling tomorrow would be sniffing around this case. But I didn't expect her to send a kid to do her dirty work. Commander, he says that he wants to talk to the mage. And she's got a right to an attorney, doesn't she? Well, she hasn't been processed. Commander White looks confused for a moment. The hell kind of bullshit are you trying to pull? Let him through, you idiot. Yes, sir. And the knight leads you through the halls of the dungeon. For something built in the capital, it looks extremely old and decrepit. Well, You pick up the negative emotions of the prisoners nearby. It's a heavy and almost crushing feeling. You've always had to avoid crowded places because of how sensitive you are to people's thoughts. You never felt this much concentrated with despair before. Oh, it's you! Celeste is lying down on the cold floor of one of the dungeon cells. She immediately gets up as she sees you. What are you doing here? Mr. Mora told me about what happened to your father. I'm so sorry. I just don't understand. I don't understand any of this. Why would someone do this? And why are they blaming me for it? I'm not sure about the details, but it's clear that there were elements of magic involved with what happened. Since they arrested you based on that evidence, I can only conclude one thing. Celeste, you're a mage, aren't you? There's no sense in hiding it anymore. Yes, I am. Do you have noble blood? Of course not. Why would you say that? Sorry, but the ability to use magic is hereditary. It's near my bedtime, but I wanted to stop by and say hi. Hope you're having a lovely stream, Althemia. Also, your chibi is adorable. Oh, thank you! Thanks for coming out, and hope you have a good sleep. Oh my gosh, my words. My words didn't want a word. Most mages tend to have some kind of noble blood. I honestly don't like thinking about that. I'm the daughter of Jolene and Flintheart McCoy. That's all I need to know about myself. It would probably be best not to push the matter further. Anyways, you were probably arrested because you're a mage. What? A crime was committed using magic, and you were the only mage around at the time. Is that seriously the only reason? I only know how to cast one spell. The Arcane Inquisition doesn't care about the truth. They only care about closing the cases. Yeah, hypes me up to see Polynesian VTubers around. Hopefully, I'll be able to see you more in the future. Ah, yeah, it's like so rare to find us. I found like 2, maybe 3 others so far. I'm trying to think in my head. I think 3, yeah. No, 4. I am incorrect. I found 4. I think one of them being you, actually. Yes, lucky. I'm doing a little snoopy snoops. Okay, I'll stop snooping. Celeste, your case is being pushed to trial. You're going to be brought before a judge within the hour. What? No one told me anything. Damn it, they weren't even planning on telling her. If you'll have me, I'd like to be your defense counsel for the trial. Right, I forgot that you were an attorney. Would you really do that for me? After everything I've seen them do, I can't just stand by and do nothing. But they're part of the kingdom. Do we even have a chance? It's hopeless. Jeez, I'm almost out of my Kool-Aid already. Celeste, man, king, or god, I won't let them do anything to you. That's from Peanut. Aw, thank you, Peanut. What? Sorry, it's just something I have a habit of saying. No, don't apologize. I really appreciate you doing this. It's clear this entire situation is bittersweet for her. And because of the Inquisition delays, you haven't had any time to investigate the crime scene. You were confident before, but you begin to doubt whether or not you can really do this. Everything is happening so fast, it feels unreal. No, you have to do this. This is the exact reason why you became a lawyer. No matter what happens, you'll quit, Celeste. Here we go. Going to court. I'm ready to... Why does he look so pissed? A courtroom. I'm in a real courtroom. Yes. Yes, you are. Actually, entering the courtroom has taken a lot of wind out of your sails. You've never been here as an attorney before. You've only ever acted as Miss Tamora's assistant. Arya Steelwind. The woman at the prosecutor's bench is staring at you. Miss Tamora mentioned her before you went to see Celeste. What was her name again? You think it was Arya Steelwind. Name, Arya Steelwind. Occupation, prosecutor. You can feel the coldness of her glare burrowing into you. Why is she staring you down? Is she trying to intimidate you? Because it's working. Oh, come on. Nope, that's still X. Court is now in session for the trial of Celeste McCoy. Let's try to save. I don't know how to do this VSync shenanigans. 2? We'll just keep changing it up 1. How much does a chimney cost? Nothing. It's on the house. Oh, my stars. Welcome to the stream, Pulse. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. Oh, the offense is also ready, Your Honor. He doesn't necessarily sound very ready. Regardless, let's begin the proceedings. Prosecutor Steelwind, please list the charges. How's the stream going? Pretty good. Pretty good, having fun. Loving the music in this game and loving the atmosphere in general. When they said it was like magic and D&D and all that stuff merged into this game, I didn't expect it to literally be like magic and Ace Attorney in one, and I'm just loving it. The defendant is Celeste McCoy, a mercenary for hire and a registered mage. Wait, did she just say mercenary? Yeah, I had to take up a job after my family's tavern was shut down. I shall watch stream while cleaning bottles. Have fun, Manda. Oh, right. It's not exactly the first occupation you choose. She's charged with second-degree murder and negligent misuse of the arcane arts. I see, so there was magic involved. Yes, the crime occurred within the McCoy Tavern, a local inn that shut down years ago. The locals reported hearing a loud commotion coming from within the building. Hours later, a carriage driver that was nearby checked the disturbance. It was then that he found the victim, the defendant's sword still impaling his dead body. The Inquisition has provided an autopsy report and a record of the sword. Died after being stabbed from behind with a magical blade. Fatal wound shows heavy traces of transmutation magic. Died after being stabbed from behind. It looked like he was stabbed from the front. I could be wrong. I'd have to look at the picture again. Celeste sword. The alleged murder weapon. It's an ornately designed sword, but it has no magical properties. What was the defendant's relationship with the victim? I see that they share the same last name. The defendant is the victim's daughter, but not by blood. She was adopted into the family when she was an infant. Her birth parents are currently unknown. I see. What an unfortunate turn of events. To begin, the prosecution would like to call Commander Oriam White to the stand. Witness, please state your name and occupation for the court. Name's Oriam White. I'm commander of the Arcane Inquisition. Oriam, could you please testify about the details of the Inquisition's investigation? Yeah. Witness testimony. Eventually I'll get the dang number right. Let's try 3. We got a call late at night. Someone discovered a dead body inside the McCoy Tavern. When we arrived on the scene, we found Flintheart McCoy dead on the floor. The defendant's sword was still inside of him. We have several witnesses who heard the victim and defendant in a loud argument before the body was discovered. The argument must have turned ugly, because the defendant killed the victim using her magic sword. Objection! The sword is not magic! Isn't that really incriminating? Oh, come on, use your brain, Tyrion. One of her possessions is the murder weapon. Mr. Cuthbert, you may begin your cross-examination. You open your mouth to respond, but nothing comes out. You can't think of anything to say. Everything is blank. Mr. Cuthbert. Hey, what are you doing? This is the part where you say something, right? I'm sorry. I don't... Your anxiety is just getting worse, and your breaths are becoming more and more desperate. Oh, jeez. Are you hyperventilating? What a disappointment. I was hoping to fight against the infamous Ruby Tamora today. But it's clear you can't even hold a candle to her. Your Honor, it's clear that the defense has nothing to say against the prosecution's overwhelming evidence. Yep, this case is pretty open and shut. No, wait. This isn't what's supposed to happen. I'm sorry, Tyrion. I couldn't acquit Frey. She was found guilty. What? But that means... Are they going to execute her? No, not again. Are you seriously going to let that happen again? Tyrion! Ooh, dude's got some trauma that we need to figure out. Who's Frey? Celeste grabs your shoulders and shakes you out of your panic. You need to calm down. Her gaze is calm and focused despite the gravity of the situation. But she looks stern, not angry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean for this to... Stop. Just listen to me. You know what to do, right? Just do it the same way you play chess. What? I don't know. You were just so calm and focused when we were playing before. Thank you for the raid! Oh, my stars! Eliza! I think that's how you pronounce your name. I don't know. I suck at names. If a mod is in the chat, can somebody shout her out, please? How am I doing? I'm doing good. Oh, my stars. Welcome in, raiders. Welcome in. I'm Althemia, a Hawaiian spirit VTuber, and today we are playing what is basically Ace Attorney meets the arcane arts. I don't think any of my mods are online. Oh, no. Spooky. I think I can do it. I think I can do it. Watch me do it. Watch me do it. I got this. Watch me misspell something. I might have misspelled something. I don't know if that worked. I'm so new to this stuff. That's good to hear. How was your stream? How was your stream? Let me clicky. No matter how close I got to beating you, you always knew how to stay calm and win. So just channel that feeling and look at the pieces? That doesn't make any sense. And yet, you take a moment to focus and let everything else disappear from the world. Every statement that he made, every word that came out of his mouth, each of those is a possible weakness that you can attack. Every bleak moment can be turned around. You just need to consider every angle. My apologies for the delay, Your Honor. The defense is ready to begin cross-examining the witness. Hey! Very well. There we go. Thank God that worked. Carefully examine every statement he made and find something that contradicts the evidence in your notes. I already got something that contradicts the notes. Once you do that, present the contradicting evidence and prove that his testimony is false. Here we go, guys. Cross-examination. You're cross-examining a witness. Carefully examine each statement they made and find the statement that contradicts a clue, a spell, or a profile in your notes. Once you identify the false statement, click the present button and present the contradicting evidence to move forward. Pretty sure it's this one. Present. Hey, I got it! Commander White, you testified that the victim was killed using the defendant's magical sword. Am I correct? Yeah, it's pretty obvious when you look at the crime scene. I think I'd actually have to disagree with you on that. The defendant's sword couldn't have possibly been the murder weapon. What are you talking about, kid? The sword was inside his body. Of course, that's what killed him. That may be the case, but take a look at the autopsy report. It states that the fatal wound had heavy traces of magic. So how would a non-magical sword leave traces of magic on the body? What? To leave a trace like that, the wound would have had to have been created with something magical. My client's sword may look fancy and expensive, but it is entirely mundane. That doesn't make a lick of sense. If the sword didn't kill him, then why was it in the body? Yes, I found that quite strange as well. Well, there's only one reasonable explanation, Your Honor. The wound was created magically, and someone shoved the sword into the wound afterward. The hell are you talking about? The defendant is a damned mage. She could have easily killed the victim using magic. That may be, Commander, but why would she kill the victim using magic and then stab him with her sword? She would just be incriminating herself. No, if anything, this series of events proves one thing. Someone used magic to kill the victim, and then they pushed my client's sword into the wound to frame her. Nope, that's still laggy. I don't know if me changing the VSync count is actually helping, but I know, like, at... Oh, we only have the fourth one left to try. Oh no. Gonna make it fast. Text size? I want it large. How does that change it? Don't get ahead of yourself. I didn't know I could change the text size. Although I've been in the menu like how many times now? What? Your Honor, the defense is trying to spin the facts in his favor. He claims that a third party committed the crime and used the sword to frame the defendant. But wouldn't the simpler explanation be this? Magic was being channeled through the sword at the time of the death. That is what left the magical trace on the body. Commander, please tell the defense how the murder was committed using magic. What? Alright. I think I see where you're going with this. It's true that the sword itself isn't magical, but magic can still be channeled through it. That defendant over there? Her spell compendium has a spell called Mage Blade. She must have used it on her sword before stabbing the victim. And that spell is the reason why there were traces of transmutation magic on the wound. So her spell compendium contains a spell called Mage Blade. A spell compendium is a magical device that lists every spell a mage can cast. Luckily, Celeste's compendium only contains one spell. That means she can only cast that one spell. Celeste, do you have your spell compendium with you? No, I left it at the tavern after... Well, you know. If you can't look at the description for Mage Blade, you have to approach this another way. The commander's testimony was a lot vaguer this time. If you can press his statements, you might be able to find new information that you can use against him. Now, well, if that's gonna continue lagging. Hey!
I know how to play, so I played the Ace Attorneys. I'm not newbie.
There has to be a different way to fix all that shenanigans. I just don't know exactly how to do that. Toggle, blah, 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 blah. I need to press on the one that has Mage Blade. Mage Blade? It's a transmutation spell that sharpens my sword. I usually use it when I need to cut through an enemy's plate armor. You didn't realize that she led such a lethal lifestyle. But anyways, would it be excessive for the defendant to use a spell like that on the victim? He wasn't wearing any kind of armor at the time of death. The victim and the defendant were in an intense argument. Perhaps she used the spell in a fit of rage. It was a crime of passion, after all. Ugh, that theory is a little too far-fetched. But you'll need hard evidence if you want to disprove it. But why would she go to the trouble of doing that? Her sword alone would have been enough to commit the murder. Mages are always looking for an excuse to throw their power around. There's no rhyme or reason to it. Isn't that just your own personal bias, Commander? We don't need to understand why the defendant did what she did. The fact of the matter is that magic was present at the crime. Do you have any evidence of the contrary? You don't, yet. That spell is the reason why there are traces of transmutation magic on the wound. Is it? Aha. Spells. Ah, the spell isn't there yet. Press. If she used a spell like that, wouldn't that have created traces of magic on the ground? How's that? Well, let's say we follow the prosecution's theory. That would mean that the victim fell to the ground with the sword still inside him. At this point, Mage Blade would still be active, right? It would definitely leave a magical trace on the ground after making physical contact with it. We're already way ahead of you. We had our people scan the crime scene, and we found traces of transmutation magic right under the body, just like you said. Oh. If you still don't believe me, I have a picture of the crime scene right here. Oh? Why was this picture not brought to my attention? There was no need. This entire case is open and shut. I want to look at the picture. Crime scene pictures have been added to your notes. You've seen pictures of the dead before, but it feels different now that the body is someone you knew. Looks like there are traces of magic on the ground. But this shape is a little weird, isn't it? Hey, let me look at it. What was that just now? Oh, she's seeing something. Let me look at that picture. Let me get a good look at that picture. Man, it's really hard to see, really. That's me. This shape is odd. Ah, wait. So he was stabbed from the front. It says he was stabbed from behind. Where is it? Present. Objection! Your Honor, it's clear that the witness' testimony is contradictory, and this piece of evidence proves it. I fail to see how that proves anything, Mr. Cuthbert. But he was stabbed from the front. Oh, I guess you're right. You can see it right in this photo. She killed him with a stab from the front. But oh, he did say front. The autopsy says back though. Objection! I got it. I'm sorry, Commander White, but it seems that you've presented another glaring contradiction. Oh yeah? And what's that? You said that my client stabbed from the victim from the front. Am I correct? Yeah? You can see it plain in that picture. So where's your contradiction? I'm gonna wipe that smug look off your face. That's the thing, Commander. Your picture clearly shows that the victim was stabbed from the front. But the autopsy report says that he died from a stab from behind. What? REM, you were supposed to release everything that you had. Why wasn't this photo given to me? There was no need. There's no way it could have been anyone other than that damn mage. Murmurs breaking out across the gallery. It didn't matter how corrupt the justice system was. They wouldn't be able to cover up such a blatant incompetence. You have them right where you want them. Order! Order in the court! Mr. Cuthbert, what is the meaning of this? I'll tell you what the meaning of behind this is, Your Honor. As the autopsy report states, the victim died from a stab wound originating from his back. But this photo clearly shows that the sword entered from his front. This can only mean one thing. The sword was inserted into the wound after the fatal wound had already been created. That's crazy. Do you honestly expect us to believe that? Then please enlighten me, Commander White. How else would the sword be facing the opposite way? Do you think my client stabbed the victim with the hilt of her sword? I didn't think so. What really happened is clear. The real murderer stuck the sword through the victim's wound to implicate my client. But they made a careless mistake and stuck the sword through the opposite side. Fuck you, objection. It appears that I underestimated you, Mr. Cuthbert. But you've still got ahead of yourself. What's up? Really, Miss Gilwin? I believe that Mr. Cuthbert has adequately cast doubt on your case. Oh, did he now? Let me ask you one question, Mr. Cuthbert. If your client didn't kill Flintheart McCoy, then who did? How should I know? If I'm not mistaken, it's the commander's job to figure that out. Oh, I'm well aware of the commander's incompetence. But one fact still stands. There was magic detected on the wound and the sword. Would you like for me to tell you how many mages live in that small town? You don't like where she's going with this. Just one. There's only one registered mage in that entire town. And that mage is your client. What? The defendant was also established to have been with the victim hours before his death. She was the last known person with him, and she was the only mage there. In addition to that, I have several witnesses who heard them arguing. How she murdered the victim is simply an unanswered question. I see. That certainly does change matters. I can't say that the prosecution evidence is irrefutable, but there's still evidence that casts guilt upon the defendant. Damn it! You almost had them. There are far too many unanswered questions for me to pass a verdict. We will give law enforcement time to clear these unknowns. I suggest that they conduct their investigation more thoroughly this time. We will resume the trial tomorrow morning. Court is adjourned. Oh, Cuthbert. As you walk out of the courtroom with Celeste, you are greeted by Miss Tamora. Miss Tamora? You're here? You recall how you froze up during the first cross-examination. You feel a little ashamed that your mentor saw all of that. Well, at the end of the day, you're able to pull it together. And once you did that, you performed adequately. On that note, I wanted to give you this. Celeste's spell compendium has been added to your notes. Mage Blade has been added to your notes. Transmutation, Incarnation, Arcane, none. Duration 1 minute. Concentration, yes. For the duration of the spell, the edges of the object, usually a blade, become unnaturally sharpened, making it more effective at slashing through tough material. While under the effects of the spell, the object emits a yellow radiant glow. The target object must be no longer than a 5-foot cube. Interesting. My spell compendium. I swiped it from the dining area before the Inquisition arrived. I thought it'd be best for you to have it. So, this is your spell compendium. It only has one spell. Mage Blade. This means that the prosecution has to prove that Celeste used that specific spell. It will restrict how they approach this case, which gives you an edge over them. But that prosecutor is really something else. You mean Prosecutor Steelwood? You can still remember her ripping glare. It gives you chills just thinking about it. You wouldn't even know it, but this was also her first trial. Really? I thought that her inexperience would make for a good first opponent. But that girl, she's a natural in the courtroom. It makes me wonder why a Steelwind would choose to become an attorney in the first place. What do you mean? The Steelwinds are a powerful noble house. Of the noble families, they are one of the few who answer directly to the king. Most members of their house take high-ranking positions in the kingdom's military. So it's a bit strange that she chose to become a prosecutor despite that. Steelwind. I feel like I've heard it somewhere before. In any case, it's best that you focus on the trial. You have about a day until court resumes. Alright, now that I have time, I'd like to ask you some questions, Celeste. Namely about that argument you had with your father. Uh-oh. You see the bailiffs staring daggers at Celeste. It looks like they're waiting to take her back to her cell. However questions you have for her will have to wait. I should probably go. Celeste walks away while avoiding eye contact with you. Bringing up her argument with Flintheart may have struck a nerve. I wants to use this opportunity to investigate the crime scene. I wouldn't be surprised if the Inquisition missed something. You utterly embarrassed them today. Don't expect them to make the same mistake twice. Alright, there are still a lot of things we don't know about. As much as I hate to admit it, your skills of deduction far surpass mine. If anyone can figure out what really happened that night, it's you.
Yes, I would like to save my progress. I'm still safe here.
You're right back at the McCoy Tavern. Luckily for you, the Inquisition set up a teleportation circle for you to use. With that circle, you can magically teleport between the capital and the crime scene instantly. It's definitely miles better than having to travel by carriage. Oh, it's you. What are you doing here? Commander White takes notice of you as you enter the tavern. It looks like he's working with a team of knights to investigate the crime scene. I'm the defense attorney in this case. I have just as much right to investigate this crime scene as you do. Yeah, whatever. Just remember, I got my eye on you, kid. Okay, can I examine the, climate scene? There's a chalk outline of a person on the ground in the tavern. This is prior to Flintheart died. The outline matches the picture that the Inquisition took. Nothing seems out of place here. What? There's a broken bottle on the floor. It's shattered. It's shattered close to the chalk outline of the body. The label has the words lotus juice on it. I've never heard of that brand before. Must be foreign. A shattered bottle of lotus juice has been added to your notes. Okay. Hey. It's a painting of a man in a suit. There's some text on it. Althemia Mele, politician of the Pedantic. I've heard of this guy. He's some kind of politician from one of the nations west of here. I heard he's pretty much a shoo-in to win whatever election they have going on there. An election? Was Flintheart studying democracies for his little revolution? The Inquisition lit some candles, but there's some magical lamp right here. I wonder why they're not using those instead. Oh. There's a modern-looking lamp mounted on the wall. It's a lamp powered by artificery. I didn't expect to find something this sophisticated in a town like this. Ugh. Artificery is just another form of magic. Actually, artificery draws from surrounding ley lines, too. I didn't ask for a science lesson, kid. Anyways, look where artificery got these folks. The arcane power cell broke, and they haven't had any power for weeks. Yep, nothing can beat good old oil and flame. Okay. Somebody doesn't like magic. You got it. It's a painting of a mage, and there's some text on it. Simolia Dagalian, a legendary practitioner of the arcane arts. He mysteriously disappeared one day. It's rumored that he was developing a formula for a new transmutation spell. However, he was reckless in casting the spell, and Dagalian quickly lost control of its magic. His body was never found. Many speculate that he didn't actually die during the accident. But if that's true, where did he end up? Sounds like a cautionary tale against using magic. That might explain why Flintheart keeps it in his tavern. Think I got everything? Okay, I'd like to talk to you. I was wondering if I could ask you some questions about the case. Ha! As if I'd help the likes of you. I saw who your boss is, and I know what you're up to. That witch probably sent you here to con me. But I'm just looking for some information. A likely story. He was cooperative before when he let you see Celeste. Why is he being so stubborn now? Is he angry that you embarrassed him in court today? In any case, you won't get anywhere at this rate. If you want his help, you need to persuade him through an argument. Psychological profiles. It helps to prepare before starting an argument with someone. Talk to Orium or present items to him to build a psychological profile for him. If you successfully fill the profile, gosh, you'll receive more information during the arguments against him. The Inquisition. So, what does the Arcane Inquisition do exactly? You trying to pick a fight with me? No, just genuinely curious. Well, I'm sure you already know, but as Inquisitors investigate crimes that involve magic. Do crimes like this happen often? Nah, maybe once in a blue moon. Makes sense, most mages are in the nobility after all. Even if they're untouchable, they don't make a habit of getting into trouble with the law. You must have an easy job then. Heh, you got that right. The only reason we exist is to clean up the nobility's messes. He doesn't seem that happy about that. Commander White, you seem to speak negatively about my client's magic. Do you have a personal grudge against mages? You're damn right I do. Wow, you didn't even try to deny it. And if you had any sense, you would too. All a mage has to do is wave their hands and say some magic nonsense. Then you suddenly have a dead body on the ground. And don't get me started on mage blight. If some noble uses their magic too much, they end up snapping and going on a rampage. I don't know if this is going too far. But why join the Inquisition if you hate mages so much? Considering the fact that my job is to sweep the nobility's crimes under the rug? Sorry, I didn't mean to insinuate. No, you have the right of it. Anytime a noble is involved in a case, I'm ordered to look the other way. You don't seem very happy to do that. Why would you stay in this line of work? Because every once in a while, I'm allowed to put a criminal mage behind bars. We can't go after the nobles, but any other mage is fair game. Or at least, they were before your boss showed up. Yeah, he's just a bit rude. Your boss? Does he have something against Miss Tamora? I have to ask. Has something happened between you and Miss Tamora? Ha! Miss Tamora? What are you, her lackey or something? No. Actually, she's my guardian. Oh. I didn't know she even had a... Look, kid, I don't know what the deal is between you two. But no good will ever come from associating with her. This is about the rumors, isn't it? Throughout the years, there have been several insidious rumors surrounding Miss Tamora. She's been accused of forgery, blackmail, and all manner of illegal activities. It's clearly misinformation spread by the nobility to discredit her. She's always been fine with it, but you can't help but get angry on her behalf. It's more than just rumors. I've seen it for myself. That woman is evil, kid. She defends mages who don't have the protection of the nobility. She's not evil, she's a hero. Yeah, whatever. Orion White's psychological profile is complete. Commander White seems unusually hostile towards you. And you have a feeling it's not just because you embarrassed him in court today. If you can clear up this misunderstanding, you might be able to convince him to help you. Lego! Argument time! Alright, I'm just going to come out and say it. Ooh, I can just click this. Cool. I saw who you work for. Do I have to spell it out for you? Ruby Tamoria is a crooked royal lawyer. Or does your boss not tell you what she gets up to? Arguments are not always fought using hard evidence. Sometimes you need to elocute to convince your opponent that their claim is wrong. When prompted for an elocution, choose from one of 3 possible responses. The correct response can be gleaned from reading your opponent's psychological profile. Regardless of what Miss Tamura has done, I'm the one heading this case. Whatever problems you have with her, they have nothing to do with me. Hey. That still doesn't change the fact that you work for her. I've seen that woman do all kinds of shady shit in the cases I've worked. Forgery, bribery, blackmail, you name it. You're just another crook. I'll bet you're just the same. A successful for the devil of defense attorneys. I'm not Ruby Tamura. Regardless of what you've seen her do, I'm going to run an honest case. Me being her successor has something to do with it. Forgery, bribery, blackmail. Have you seen me do any of those things? Because all I've done so far is point out the mistakes that you made. I feel like it should be defend or rationalize. He's stubborn. Stuck in his ways, he seems to have a grudge against Ruby Tamura and will react negatively if you try to defend her. However, he will respect you if you defend yourself against personal attacks. Forgery, bribery, blackmail. Okay. Hey, I chose right. Look, kid. I'd like nothing more than to believe you, but after everything I've seen her do, I know better. I have no reason to trust you. Anyone taught by that woman can't be anything more than a crook. You have no proof that she's a crook. No. Nothing that I've done has given you any reason to suspect me. Have you seen me engage in a crook-like behavior? Right now, I'm just a defense attorney that's asking you for information. Nothing that I've done has given you any reason to suspect me. Greetings, Windows Error 405. You like my profile picture? Thanks. Leah made it for me on Twitter. Her link should be down under my credit section if you want to go check her out. She's really good. I love her work. Hey, I won the argument. Huh, that was easy. You just want some info, right? Yes, that's all I'm asking for. Alright, answer your questions. Just don't make me regret this. You successfully persuaded Orion White. Murder weapon. This probably goes without saying, but I don't think that the sword is the murder weapon. Alright, I guess you have to prove that someone else put the sword there. Did the Inquisition find anything suspicious on the scene? If you're asking if we found another bloody weapon lying around, we definitely didn't. That would be a little too convenient, wouldn't it? But let's say that the girl really is being framed. If there was another murder weapon, the killer probably walked out with it. Do you think they could have hidden it somewhere in the tavern? Doubt it. After the trial, Steelwind turned the place upside down and scanned it with her magic. If someone did hide a murder weapon here, they hid it well. Or they hid it in plain sight. I can't believe you made such an obvious mistake during your investigation. Oh, shut it with that. I already got an earful from Steelwind about that mess. Huh? You don't have to worry about me mucking things up. Steelwind's basically taken over the entire investigation. Oh, wait, does she have the authority to do that? Normally, she wouldn't. But I know better than to go against orders from a noble. Alright. There's definitely a strange power dynamic between them. But honestly, that girl sweats the details too much. She even had my men draw up a scaled map of the crime scene. Wait, really? You have a copy? Sure, knock yourself out. Don't know how much good it'll do you. Cool. Thanks, fam. I heard that this was Prosecutor Steelwind's first trial. She must be pretty talented if that's true. A pain in my ass is what she is. That damn noble comes in here telling me how to do my job? I honestly have no idea what she's even doing in this line of work. I heard that she's from a renowned noble house. 5C1Z0 is going to draw me something soon since I subbed 5C1Z0. I don't think I recognize that name, but that's cool. I love it when artists like do little things like that. So cute. And some of their art is just so cute and cool, and some of them are like super detailed and like badass. Erie and her Discord. Oh! Oh! I was like, who? Ah, I know who you're talking about. Okay. I was like 5C1Z0. I was like, what? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I followed her on Twitter, and she did the 100 Twitter thingamajigger. Yep, that was English. Okay, that took me a minute. But yeah, she seems sweet and cool. Her art seems really cool too. I've seen like little pieces of it through her Twitter. It's supposed to be a pretty powerful mage. Heh, powerful is an understatement. The steel winds who came before her could turn this entire town into a glass crater. What? There's no way that's true, right? You think you found everything that you can here. But what does it all mean? There's no word or weapon to be found, and there's no obvious evidence of another person at the scene. Hey, you okay? You got quiet all of a sudden. Alright, just focus. Close your eyes and let everything else disappear from the world. Hey, you listening? So, there's no clear evidence pointing to another killer. There is, however, evidence pointing to how Flintheart moved before his death. What? What can we tell about how Flintheart died? There's no blood trail leading to or from the body. What does this imply about the location of Flintheart's death? The killer didn't move. Flintheart didn't move after the murder. Well, he didn't. No, there was no blood trail where Flintheart's body is. The lack of blood trail tells us something important. Namely, where Flintheart was throughout the murder. Didn't moved. During? Flintheart died where he was attacked. He didn't move from his position at all. Yeah, I guess you're right. There's also the autopsy report, which says that he died from a stab from behind. He was probably caught off guard and was too incapacitated to move anywhere else. This means that the attack happened at the exact position he fell over. Crime scene map. McCoy Tavern has been updated in your notes. There's also the shattered bottle of lotus juice. How did the bottle shatter? I doubt it means anything, but the shattered bottle is right next to the body. Flintheart dropped the bottle after the attack. Okay, he dropped it during the attack. Flintheart dropped the bottle when he was attacked. From that, we can infer that he was holding it the moment before he was attacked. What's so strange about one bottle, though? It may seem like an insignificant detail, but the detail could help me infer other elements of what happened during the murder. You got gifted a sub to Manta. That's cool. Manta's cool. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have met like a lot of cool VTubers that I've met so far. Right. There's also the fact that the artificery lights were out. Were these candles here when you arrived at the crime scene, Orium? No, we had to light some so we could see the crime scene properly. We thought it was weird too. The girl and her father must have had their argument in pitch black darkness. What can we infer about the state of the crime scene? So they didn't light any candles to make up for the broken lights. The crime scene had no lighting during the murder. The crime scene had no lighting during the murder. Broken power cell has been updated your notes. The argument that Celeste had with Flintheart must have been spontaneous. They weren't planning to have a conversation in this room. In this darkness, Flintheart would have a lot of visibility. If he was stabbed from behind, he probably didn't see it coming. He was clearly surprised and was probably in too much shock to run away. Also, the bottle may seem insignificant, but he was holding it when he was attacked. Maybe he was pouring a drink for himself, or maybe it was for a visitor. Either way, the assailant must have been unseen by Flintheart. Kid? Or the assailant attacked him from his blind spot while his back was turned. Why would his back be turned, though? Was he distracted by something? Kid! What? What was that all about? Sorry, sometimes I just get lost in my own thoughts. Yeah, well, cut it out. You're freaking me out. Right. Anyways, you think you found everything you can here. You should move elsewhere. I should get a drink. My third try. I will grab a dew. If people keep seeing you here, they're going to start asking questions. Leave the investigating to me. All you have to do is stay quiet until the trial is over. No, lady. Oh, she wasn't even talking to me. They seem to be in some kind of argument. Enough! I will do as I see fit. Well, hello again, Mr. Pompous-looking person. You may be a steel wind, but this is my land. Oh, sorry. Oh, you're a defense attorney from the trial. I am. I'm sorry, but who? Ah, how rude of me. My name is Lord Garrick Pierce, the ruling noble of this land. Excuse me. Okay, so you being a pompous asshole is pretty spot on then. As the ruling noble, I suppose I should thank you for playing your role in the current trial. As misguided as it may be, I suddenly no longer want to drink the drink that is in my hand. I suddenly want to pour it upon thine head. What do you think, Clay? You think this dew would taste better if it was poured on his head? Probably be a waste of good dew. Probably be funny as fuck, though. You have a lot of hair that is perfect for pulling. Or cutting. I suppose that you also think my client is guilty. It does not matter what I think. The entire scandal has done nothing but rile up the common folk. Magic is a gift for the nobility, and the nobility alone. It is a symbol of the aristocracy and our divine right to rule. And now that bastard child has tainted the symbol in the public eye. All of that has nothing to do with her. She's just an innocent woman who got wrapped up in all of this. Even if she is innocent, the charges have been laid and made public. Someone must take the fall, lest the public accuse the justice system of corruption. So you're saying that she should be found guilty even if she's innocent? What do you suppose will happen if she's acquitted? All the public will see is a mage going free despite a myriad of evidence. That alone would be enough to cause public outrage. Oh, I'm gonna put a mage in jail, alright, and it's going to be your head between some bars here in a minute. Tensions between the aristocracy and the common folk are high enough as is, because of jackasses like you. What is one insignificant girl when compared to the stability of our great kingdom? You know what you need? You know what you need, kind sir? You know what you need? You need me. And you know why you need me?
You know why? Because I'm gonna steal your fucking bed sheets. That's enough. Stop antagonizing him, Pierce. Huh. Even she doesn't look pleased. I can't refute what he said, but I don't agree with it. What? The system should be based on truth and justice, not on public opinion. Then why are you working against my client? Do you honestly think she's the kind of person that would kill her father? It doesn't matter what kind of person she appears to be. The evidence clearly points to her as the only possible killer. But you should fight according to your own ideals, just as I will fight for mine. It's hard to get a read on that woman. Several doors lead to guest rooms. Aside from the rooms that you and Miss Tamura use, they don't look like they've been open for quite some time. But there's some candles lighting up the hallway. They look like they were used to be part of an old architecture. Me over here writing you making slight kinky comments. What have I said that's kinky? There's a door at the end of the hallway. It looks like it's seen some use recently. You try to open the door, but it seems to be locked. Perhaps someone might have a key to open it. Have to find a key. Let's go to the buttocks. You return to the cell that Celeste is being kept in. The ambient despair in the air fills your mind with a horrendous stench. You do your best to ignore the emotions of the other prisoners, but you haven't had much practice blocking out this many people. As you arrive, you see Celeste huddled down in a corner. As soon as she sees you, her dour mood seems to lift, if only for a moment. Oh, hi, Mr. Cuthbert. There's no need to address me so formally. Just call me Tyrion. Okay. Anyways, I came here to ask you some questions about the case. Alright. The trial. I'm sorry for freezing up like that. I almost lost us the trial. No, there's no need to apologize. You did great. But it was only thanks to her. If she hadn't calmed you down, who knows what would have happened. But I still don't understand, though. Why were there traces of magic on my dad's body? Right. Those traces of magic were on the sword and the body. Magical traces are particles of magical residue that are left behind when a mage casts a spell. Ah, thank you for the hydrate pulse. They only linger around for 48 hours, and that gives you a rough timeline of when and where a spell is cast. Stretch. I think I popped my shoulder. That kind of felt good. Did you cast Mage Blade on your sword that day? I did. I usually cast it when I train in the morning. That explains why there was a trace on the sword, at least. Did the trace on the sword leave the magical trace on my dad's body? No. Magical traces can't be moved around physically. For a spell to leave a trace, it has to be active when physical contact is made. Really? What does that mean, then? Whatever killed your father had a transmutation spell active on it at the time. The magical trace on your sword was just an unlucky coincidence. I can't believe this. Can you tell me more about your father? Oh, sorry. I know this must be difficult after everything that's happened. No, it's okay. If it helps you, I'll try my best to answer your questions. Were you too close? We were. I'm sure you know this by now, but I was adopted by him and my mom. Let me adjust myself. But even though I didn't have their blood, they treated me as if I did. He loved me with all his heart until what? Does this have something to do with the argument that they had? The googly eyes is iconic. I didn't even notice I had googly eyes on. Oh, my stars. That is funny. I'm sorry to say this, but I could hear your argument from my room that night. Could you tell me about what happened? For as long as I can remember, my dad has hated mages. I'm not sure why, but if he even mentioned magic around him, he'd fly into a rage. So I hid my magic from my family. But why even learn magic in the first place? If you really wanted to, you could have gone your whole life without using it. Ever since our tavern closed, my family's been in a lot of debt. I decided to become a mercenary and use magic to enhance my ability to fight. Most mages are into nobility, so people will pay a lot for a sell sword who can use magic. So that's why she's a mercenary. Celeste's occupation has been added to your notes. You guys think this is funny? Huh? You guys think? You guys think my googly eyes are funny? I got news for you. My googly eyes are iconic. But I know now, learning magic was the biggest mistake I've ever made. I honestly don't remember why I made the redeem so high. I think I was going in, like, in order of, like, I gotta, like, rearrange my redeems and stuff. Because I think what I want to do with the googly eyes is that I want to, I want to lower it to, like, 200, maybe 300. And, like, put a timer on it so it doesn't break my program. We shall see. But I know now, learning magic was the biggest mistake I've ever made. On that night, my dad found my spell compendium. When he confronted me about it, I finally came clean to him. And that's when he flew into another one of his rages. He shouted at me. He told me that I betrayed him and his family. I'm so sorry. I can't imagine how that must have felt. I deserved every bit of it. I know how much he hated magic, but I learned to use it anyways. He showed me so much love, and I just threw it all away. Don't say that. I'm sure he still loved you. No, I could see it in his eyes. He hated me. And he died hating me. You feel a sharp pain in your chest as you see that thought. So, there's a locked room in the tavern. It's at the very end of the hallway upstairs. The Inquisition probably searched it already, but I just wanted to investigate it to make sure. A locked room at the end of the hallway? I think that's my room. Do you know how I could get in there? It's the only room in the tavern I haven't investigated. You feel a suspicious gaze from Celeste. What's that look for? I'm your lawyer. I'm not going to do anything weird. Sorry, you're right. Here, you can use this key to get inside. Celeste's bedroom key has been added to your notes. I think that's all. You use the key to enter Celeste's room. However, you're startled when you notice that someone else is already inside. I've already told you, Knights, everything that I know. Who is you? What more do you... Oh, aren't you Celeste's attorney? I am? Who are you? Oh, how rude of me. I'm Jolene McCoy. I'm Celeste's mother. I thought adopted mom was dead because we hadn't seen her at all. Okay. I was at the trial this morning. I can't thank you enough for everything that you've done for my daughter. So this is Celeste's mother. She might be able to tell you more about Funheart. How about that? Do you mind if I ask you some questions for my investigation? Of course, I'll do anything I can to help. She seems like a sweet lady. Funheart McCoy. Can you tell me about why your husband hated mages so much? I understand that most people dislike the nobility and associate magic with them. But on that night, It's like he was furious at Celeste specifically because she was a mage. Oh, you must have talked to Celeste. I wasn't there when the argument happened. I can only imagine what he said to her. Do you know what happened to him? Why does he hate magic so much? Celeste doesn't know about this. But years ago, Flintheart had a sister named Effie. When we were all children, we were friends with a boy named Garrick Pierce. He was the son of the ruling noble at the time. Garrick Pierce. Isn't that the nobleman that was speaking with Steelwind earlier? We were all inseparable at the time. He'd always sneak into town to play with us against his family's wishes. They probably weren't too happy about that. He was quite rebellious back then. But he's a completely different person now. But everything changed when Garrick began learning how to use magic. One day, when we were playing together, he wanted to show off the spells that he learned. He was told not to use his magic without his instructor there, but he was just too excited. He began casting his spells, but something went horribly wrong. He lost control of his magic and fatally wounded Effie. We tried bringing her back into town, but by that time, it was too late. She was already gone. I'm sorry. That must have been traumatizing for all of you. The next day, the Arcane Inquisition came to investigate what happened. House Pierce used their connections to cover up what happened. They even threatened Flintheart's family into keeping quiet. After that, the official story was that Effie had been mauled by a wolf. That's not surprising. The nobility seldom take responsibility for their actions, even for a mistake like that. Flintheart's sister has been added to your notes. But something changed in Flintheart after that. He began speaking out against the nobility. Eventually, he started hosting rallies in this very tavern. Each night, more and more people began listening to his words and joining his cause. The number of people that he got in under his banner was terrifying. There was even talk of an outright revolution against the kingdom. Explain why someone would go out of their way to kill him. I knew how much danger he was putting himself in, but no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't convince him to stop. His attitude didn't even begin to change until we adopted Celeste. Speaking of Celeste, can you tell me more about Celeste? How did she become a part of your family? It all happened many years ago, back when the McCoy Tavern was still open. We were closing one night when we found a baby with white hair abandoned in the dining area. We waited weeks for her parents to come by, but no one ever came looking for her. And that baby was Celeste? Yes. Flintheart and I had always wanted a child. I thought that Celeste must have been a gift from the Scald Lord. But one day I saw Celeste practicing her magic. I think that's when I realized that someone from the nobility must have abandoned her at our inn. I didn't care though. I loved her all the same. I'm sure Flintheart did too. Wait, you knew that she was a mage all this time? I didn't. You haven't known her very long, but she's a terrible liar. Flintheart must have noticed too, but I think that he didn't want to believe it. It's my fault. I should have forced him to see the truth. I spoke with Celeste earlier. She thinks that her father hated her because she was a mage. There's no way he could ever feel that way. He loved her more than anything in the world. No matter what he said to her that night, nothing would ever change that. After seeing them together, he figured as much. Celeste was the world to him. When we adopted her, it was the first time in decades that I'd seen him so genuinely happy. They must have been really close. More than anything. Do you want to hear a story? Celeste had just returned from her travels. She wouldn't stop talking about this foreign drink that she loved. I think it was called lotus juice or something strange like that. Well, Flintheart did everything he could to have it shipped here. He called in a bunch of favors with some of his revolutionary friends. But in the end, he was only able to get a single bottle of it. Is it really that rare? Yes. I wouldn't be surprised if it were the only bottle of lotus juice in the region. Wait a minute, lotus juice. Is this the bottle that Flintheart bought? He showed her a picture of the shattered bottle that you found next to Flintheart's body. It is! Oh no, he was going to surprise her with it. I found the broken pieces next to Flintheart's. Well, I found them in the dining area. That's strange. He'd been keeping it in our room so she wouldn't find it. Really? When was the last time you saw it? Right before I left the house that night. It was right before their big argument, so it wasn't just lying around in the bar. He decided to retrieve it after the argument. Shattered bottle of lotus juice has been updated. Alright, I think you've investigated everything you can for now. There's still one last thing you need to do. Ready yourself for one last conversation with Celeste. Let's go back. Oh, you're back. Did you forget something? Actually, there's one last thing I wanted to talk to you about. Oh? Earlier you said something that I can't just let go. You said that your father died hating you. But after everything I heard about him, I don't think that's true. Your father loved you, Celeste, even in his final moments. You desperately want to reach her. If she keeps believing that he hated her, that thought will eat away at her for the rest of her life. You know that better than anyone. He's just lying to make you feel better. But it looks like it won't be that simple. You need to win an argument against her if you want her to see the truth. Celeste believes that her father died hating her. But after seeing them together and learning about them, you know that can't possibly be true. You just need to convince her of that. Yeah, here we go. I know you're just trying to make me feel better, and I really do appreciate it. But everyone knows that my father hated mages. He's always hated magic. There's no reason behind it. What is this? This is the reason why your father hated— Oh, I'm sorry, but I don't think I understand. Oh, I thought we were trying to— No, okay. I don't know if it's my place to say this, but there's a reason why your father hated magic so much. What? When Flintheart was a child, he had a younger sister. She was tragically killed by a mage decades ago. And that's why he had such an immense hatred for magic. I never knew that. But that doesn't change anything. That's all the more reason for him to have hated me. It was selfish of me to learn magic. I knew how much he hated magic, but I still learned to use it anyways. Magic killed someone that he loved. No wonder he was furious. This less because now— wait. Now do I do this? You're not a selfish person, Celeste, and this proves it. Oh, I gotta prove she's not selfish this time. But you didn't learn magic to benefit yourself, did you? You learned to save your family after your tavern was shut down. That's... You're a good person, Celeste. And you did everything you could to help your family. I'm sure your father recognized that. Just shut up. What? Shut up! Just stop it! Whatever composure she had before is slowly breaking down. You weren't there. You didn't hear what he said to me. In his final moments, he could only think of how I betrayed him. I could see it in his eyes. There's no way he would ever forgive me. Now that I present this, take a look at this picture, Celeste. What? A shattered bottle? Wait, is that a bottle of lotus juice? Do you know where I found this? On the floor of your family's inn. What? That can't be true. I tried to find it here, but no one sells it in Wyverngard. Your father knew how much you loved this drink. He called in quite a few favors just so he could have it imported for you. What? He did that? Your father didn't hate you, Celeste. He loved you more than anything. That doesn't change anything. If he did that all for me, it was before he knew about my secret. I'm sure he never would have done that if he knew the truth. That's not true at all. What the hell would you know about him? You barely even knew him. How could you possibly know how he felt about me? Don't you think I want to believe that he still loved me before he died? But I know the truth. There's no way he would ever forgive me for what I did. It's not just the fact that he bought that drink for you. it's also where the bottle was when it shattered. What do you mean? Your mother said that the bottle was stowed in her room before your argument. But I found the shattered bottle in the lobby where his body was. I ran into him before I went to look for you. He was going upstairs to his room. That can only mean one thing. He went to retrieve the bottle after your argument ended. What? Why would he have it? It's because he was going to give it to you, Celeste. He was going to give you a gift to apologize for what he said to you. He was going to apologize? Your father loved you, Celeste. And as tragic as it is, he was going to try to apologize to you before he was murdered. I don't like this. My daughter working as a mercenary of all things. Come on, Dad. You know I can handle myself. I don't doubt it. But you still shouldn't have to risk your neck for our sakes. They closed the inn, Dad. He won't be able to survive unless I do this. Just be careful, okay? I don't know what I'd do if anything happened to you. No matter what anyone says, you're our daughter. And we'll love you until the day we die. Dad, how could I ever think that? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Dad. Celeste had barely been keeping it together throughout the whole argument, but her realization is finally causing her to break down. She begins crying loudly as she quickly embraces you. In this cold, dark place, she probably hadn't felt warmth of any kind for days. You're caught off guard and feel a little embarrassed, but you comfort her while she vents her emotions. Yeah, I'd say argument was won alright. Are you feeling better? Yeah, I think I'm okay now. I've been thinking such horrible things this entire time. She looks at you and gives you a warm smile. Oh, my throat! It's probably the first time we've seen her genuinely smile since this whole ordeal started. Thank you. But is everything really going to be okay? I'll make sure of it. I'll get justice for you and your father. It doesn't have... It doesn't matter who stands in my way. Even if they're a man, king, or god. You're completely different now. What happened to the nervous wreck from before? Yeah, please forget about that. Anyways, take some time to rest. The trial is going to resume soon. With that, you've done everything you can for now. You've learned a lot about what happened that night at a murder. You just hope it's enough. But even with your investigation, you still don't know how the prosecution has planned. Thank you for the hydrate. Has Pierce told you all of the details, Mr. Rudolph? Will you remember them? Yes, I pride myself on my etiquette memory. So, can you deliver this dew bottle to him and pour it on his head for me? Just so there are no misunderstandings, I do not approve of this. You said it yourself, Lady Steelwind. Yes, Mandy. Kill him with kindness. It is a kind gesture, though, giving him some Mountain Dew to quench his apparent undying thirst for the horrible fashion taste that he has going on here. There's a possible way that I could have done the deed. It has to be that bastard child. We don't know what sort of tricks Ruby Tamora might pull tomorrow. Just see this as a way of securing a just verdict. She doesn't look too happy about this. Save. Alright, it's time. Hello, Cuthbert. Okay. Sure, that's what you were actually thinking. Yeah, that's what I was actually thinking. Excuse me. Oh, hi, Mr. Morrow. I would like to cut his hair personally, or use it to hold him still for a fist to the face. See, you tell me to kill him with kindness, but then here comes Lila over here from left field, ready to shank him, basically. You're a lot less jumpy than you were yesterday. I'm glad to see that you're finally getting used to things. So, what did you find in your investigation? You tell Miss Tamora about everything you've learned over your investigation. There aren't a lot of clues that point to what actually happened. Yeah. I know a lot of details about the crime scene, but nothing about the crime itself. This means I'll have to rely solely on pointing out contradiction in the witnesses' testimonies. Being reacted to the prosecution's moves is a valid strategy. Honestly, I think it was a miracle that you got the commander to cooperate with you at all. Right. You almost forgot. Oh, it's a cute emoji. Commander White appears to really have it out for Miss Tamora. Actually, I wanted to ask about that. Did something happen between you and Commander White? Miss McCoy, please proceed to the courtroom with your counsel. Let's go, Tyrion. The trial's about to start. You should go. The judge is waiting. Right. Another secret is left buried between you two. Alright. Let's go. Man, I love that animation. Court is now resumed for the trial of Celeste McCoy. Let us review the proceedings from yesterday. Yesterday, the defense presented some shocking oversights made during the investigation. Yes, I personally saw to it that the investigation was conducted properly this time. I see. I suppose that puts my mind at ease. At yesterday's trial, we found an inconsistency between the crime scene photo and the autopsy report. Because of this, the defense tried to push the following narrative: that a third party must have interfered with the crime scene to frame the defendant. However, the prosecution has discovered another explanation. Because of that, the individual who discovered the body would like to testify as to what he saw that night. His eyewitness account would clear up what actually happened. BRB. Okie dokie, Mandy. Interesting. It is my understanding that the individual in question wanted to remain anonymous. Supposedly, the witness was within the gallery of the trial yesterday. After yesterday's proceedings, he felt that he couldn't stay silent any longer. So that's her plan. But why would the witness change his mind like that? Did Steelwind persuade him, or is something else happening here? Yes. Very well. Let's hear from the witness. Witness, please state your name and occupation for the court. My name is Dries Reginald Rudolph. I am a chauffeur of the equine variety. Man, can you hunch your back a little? Like, you stiff as a doornail. Fucking A. I'm terribly sorry, but I'm unfamiliar with that profession. He means to say that he's a carriage driver. Uh-oh, I see. But in any case, it is my understanding that you found the body. Am I correct, Mr. Rudolph? Rudolph appears to be writing something in a notebook. He writes with incredible speed. His pen only touches the paper for maybe a second before he's filled an entire page. Mr. Rudolph? Ah, forgive me. I was merely taking notes on the people in this room. Taking notes? The witness has a certain compulsion to keep a record of every event that he witnesses. I see. Then I assume we will receive an accurate testimony of how you found the body. Actually, I witnessed much more than that. I saw the crime as it was being committed, and I wrote down everything that I saw. That is quite the claim. If that's true, why did you choose to remain silent until now? We had initially concluded that the evidence alone was decisive enough. Therefore, we saw no need at the time for his testimony. However, those circumstances clearly changed during yesterday's trial. There's no way the prosecution wouldn't leverage eyewitness testimony from the start. Something else is happening here. Very well. Mr. Rudolph, please testify to the court about what you saw that night. I'm back. I had to change. Now food. Ooh, nom-noms. I was transporting a client in my carriage that evening. We were driving by the McCoy Tavern when we heard a disturbance. This occurred at 1:28 a.m. Worried that something was amiss, I walked into the establishment to see what the commotion was about. There I saw the defendant. She was lit by the blue glow of the dining room lights. She had stabbed Flintheart McCoy and was channeling magic into her sword. I already see a contradictory. She removed the sword from Flintheart's chest, and as he slowly turned to face her, she stabbed him again in the front. She soon realized that I had witnessed her heinous crime. She let the body fall to the ground and fled the scene. Incredible! If everything occurred as the witness described, then I see no room for debate. Of course, the evidence has always been irrefutable. You don't remember seeing him when you left to look for Celeste, but it was pretty dark. Celeste, did you see this man that night? No. This is my first time meeting him, and I didn't see him when I ran out of the tavern that night, so he has to be lying. Does that mean he's the one who killed my dad? She tries her best to hide it, but you can sense her restlessness. It's hard to say right now, but it's definitely a possibility. Ooh, sushi. I haven't had sushi in a while. I should get some sushi. Not now, obviously. The defense may now begin their cross-examination. I already found a contradictory. This one. Hey. It always makes me happy when I get these right. Mr. Rudolph, you testified that you saw my client murdering the victim, and you supposedly saw her casting magic while doing so? Yes. I can never forget such a grisly sight. And that moment was burned into my memory. I see. Well, it's funny that you say that. Also, because your entire testimony was a complete lie. Are you accusing the witness of perjury? Surely you know that such accusations can't be made lightly, Mr. Cuthbert. You could probably get it tomorrow, but I might get Chipotle Wednesday. Sushi tomorrow does sound pretty good. Me and Angel, speaking of tomorrow, might do our makeup stream for TikTok tomorrow. Not 100% sure yet. We'll find out. My accusation is far from baseless, Prosecutor Steelwind. Take a look at this report. The dining room lights are artificery devices that are powered by an arcane power cell. However, the same arcane power cell was broken during the time of the murder. The dining room lights had no energy, and the room would have been pitch black. The witness couldn't have seen anything, much less a homicide. Wait, I can explain. There's no need, witness. You could have easily seen another source of light. Perhaps one of the McCoys lit a candle because of the blackout. The witness clearly described a source of blue light. A candle or a lantern wouldn't emit a color like that. Then the witness was clearly mistaken. The witness records everything he sees in his notebook. He even remembers the exact times that each event occurred. So why would he be incorrect about such a clear and obvious detail? Man, I feel like I'm arguing with myself. No, what the witness saw was clearly some form of magic. And due to the lack of power, it couldn't have been artificery. It must have been an arcane spell. That's it. What is it, witness? I must have made an incorrect assumption. Please allow me to revise my testimony. What do you think of this, Prosecutor Stillwind? If the witness wants to revise his testimony, then I see no harm in obliging him. And you, Mr. Cuthbert? If he thinks he saw something different, then it's only fair to hear him out. He'll tear through each of his lies no matter what he does. Let go. I remember now. Yesterday, it was revealed that Flintheart was killed using magic. I must have seen Flintheart's daughter channeling a magic spell. That spell was called Mageblade, am I correct? That's it. The blue glow that I saw must have been created by Mageblade. Incorrect, kind sir. I see. So the blue light that you saw came from the defendant's magic. Mr. Cuthbert, you may proceed with your cross-examination. With pleasure. Now, I don't know if I'm supposed to... which one I'm supposed to present on, but I think it's this one. Where's... there it is. Okay, so it wasn't this one. Because, if you read the compendium... oh, wait. This one. I forgot I can... I forgot I can object with the exact spells. That's right. I need to remember I have more than just notes. Mr. Rudolph, you don't know much about magic, do you? Of course not. Are you trying to say that I should have recognized Celeste's Mageblade? No, I admit that you probably wouldn't know about Mageblade. But that's exactly where your mistake was. My mistake? Mr. Rudolph, if you were aware of how Mageblade works, then you would know that the spell emits a yellow radiant glow. Which means the blue glow you saw couldn't have possibly been Mageblade. This is ridiculous. I'll grant you that the witness clearly remembers seeing a blue glow. But what significance could such a minor detail have? It's extremely significant, Prosecutor Steelwind. If the witness did see a blue magical glow, then he must have witnessed another spell at the scene. Preposterous. You don't have any evidence to back up that claim. That blue light made a large impression on the witness. He wrote it down in his book, and he specifically mentioned a color. There's no way he would be mistaken about something like that. So, what did you really see, Mr. Rudolph? Did you see my client at the scene casting a spell that she couldn't possibly cast? Or did you see another mage at the scene? Well... Your Honor, the defense has no right to accuse the witness like this. Let me remind you that perjury is a crime, Mr. Rudolph. If you're found to have lied in your testimony, you will be prosecuted. No, wait, please. Now that is quite enough of that. Man, everybody just got shocked. Ah, it's you. Deep breaths, Sally, deep breaths. Don't strangle him yet. As tempting as it is to just grab that cravat from his, neck and just tie it a little too tight. Garrick Pierce suddenly steps down from the gallery and walks to the witness stand. He's breaking every possible rule in the book, but no one in the room moves to stop him. The bailiff looks to Judge nervously, but the judge just narrows his eyes and carefully watches Pierce. Hallie, you don't have to. Let me do it. Yeah, okay. I'll let you. Okay, Mandy. We'll kill him with kindness. We'll kill him with evidence. We'll kill him with the evidence. Pierce, meanwhile, shoves the still flustered Rudolph off of the stand and begins addressing the courtroom. What is he even doing here? I will not stand by while you harass my servant. Pierce, you discussed this. There's no need for you to take the stand. And what, pray tell, did they discuss? Nonsense, I have nothing to hide. And if you had done your job properly, I wouldn't have needed to intervene. For the first time, Steelwind doesn't seem to have control of the situation. What is the meaning of this, Miss Steelwind? Who is this man? This is Garrick Pierce, Your Honor. That is Lord Garrick Pierce to you, Steelwind. Remember, Allie, violence is not always the answer. I am the honorable heir to the Pierce noble house. In any case, I must apologize. I'm afraid that these misunderstandings are entirely my fault. What do you mean? You see, Rudolph wasn't the one who witnessed the crime that fateful night. It was me. I was the one who witnessed the crime. I had my driver report the body so that I could remain anonymous. What? Are you saying that you had Rudolph lie for you? I simply dictated to him what I saw and had him repeat that to law enforcement. It simply wouldn't do for a member of the nobility to appear publicly in court. Lord Pierce! Regardless of your intentions, this is a clear act of perjury. Yeah, I guess you're right. I wouldn't look good in orange. Regardless of your intentions, this is a very clear act of perjury. But from the look on the judge's face, you can easily tell that he won't face any actual consequences. I understand, and I will accept the consequences of that. I would be remiss if Rudolph's shoddy testimony allowed that girl to escape her crimes. Please let me testify as to what I saw that night. Very well. This is highly irregular, but I believe the court will benefit from hearing your testimony. However, know that this misconduct has hurt your credibility. Very well. On the night of the murder, I found myself unable to sleep, so I went on a leisurely carriage ride around Cornhaven. I happened to be passing by the McCoy Tavern when I heard a loud commotion from within the building. Curious, I stopped my carriage and took a single step inside the establishment. Then I saw the scene inside. I saw the defendant stabbing that poor man twice with her sword. Garrick Pierce. He's a member of the nobility. That means that he's probably a mage, right? And he's the only other mage that was there that night. Does that mean... There's no doubt about it. He's the only person that could have left a trace of transmutation on the body. He has to be the mage that we're looking for. Sorry, this must be a lot for you right now. Don't worry about me. Focus on taking him down. I gotta think. Because he said something that did catch my eye. It was, stabbing the man twice. It doesn't say how many times he was stabbed. Victims over here. Footnote Snow, key, Mage Blade. Let's press. And I assume that you're going to say she stabbed him from opposite sides each time? Of course. Mind you, I have no idea why she would act like that. But can you prove that she did do exactly what I described? I suppose not. At least not yet, anyways. Pierce is definitely the real murderer. This means that he has to be a lie somewhere in his testimony. He keeps saying that he stood at the entrance the entire time. If he killed my father, then he would have been further in, right? Is there any way you can prove that he was further inside the building? On the night of the murder, I happened to be passing by. Curious, I stopped my carriage and took a single step inside the establishment. Then I saw the scene inside. I saw the defendant. Let's press here. If he was at the tavern entrance, then that would mean he was here. Crime scene map, McCoy Tavern has been updated in your notes. You saw the entire scene from the tavern entrance? It would be quite dark considering that the lights weren't operational, even if my client was using Mage Blade at the time. Ah, of course, I'd forgotten that detail. I couldn't see what was happening, so I used my magic to illuminate the scene. You used magic at the crime scene? Yes, I remember it clearly. I conjured a blue light to illuminate the scene. The same blue light must have been what my driver saw. I thought that Rudolph didn't witness the crime at all. If I had to guess, Mr. Rudolph must have seen the blue light from the carriage. He must have made that detail part of his testimony earlier. It actually makes a lot of sense now that you think about it. Rudolph was so sure that he saw a blue light. It would be strange if he was lying about that. But anyways, which spell did you use to illuminate the crime scene? It was the Conjure Light spell. Luxo, Gesture none, Concentration 1 hour, Concentration yes. for duration of the spell. When mote of magical light appears in the caster's hand, the color of the light is chosen by the caster and can be changed at will for the spell's duration. This mote of light provides illumination up to 15 feet of the caster and no further. Your Honor, if the witness used magic at the crime scene, then I'd like for his spell compendium to be added to the court record. I see no reason to invade the witness's privacy over a trivial illumination spell. I agree. The defense would need a stronger reason to request the witness's spell compendium. Right you are, Your Honor. Your wisdom is truly fitting of your station. Oh, shut up. I used conjured light to illuminate the scene from the tavern entrance. From there, I could clearly see the crime unfold. "15 feet. 5 feet by 5 feet. So he's here. 5, 10, 15, 5, 10. There is no damn way. Now, how do I present this? Do I present the spell? Or do I present the map? Okay, no. Is this it? No. Where is it? There it is. Oh. Hey, I got it right. I got it right. Man, I'm glad that thing told me it was 5 by 5. I was like, hold up. Lord Pierce, you said that you illuminated the scene from the tavern entrance, and you only took a single step into the building? Of course. I remember it very clearly. I stood only at the entrance. In that case, I'd like for you to take a look at the map of the tavern. If you take a look at this map, that would place you right here, where the W is. Am I correct? Of course I was. I do not know what you wish to achieve by having me repeat that fact. Well, I find it interesting that you illuminated the crime scene from all the way back there, considering that conjure light only illuminates an area within 15 feet. What? The spell drains is irrelevant. We're already established that the victim would have been illuminated by Mage Blade. During his testimony, Lord Pierce clearly stated that he couldn't see what was happening. That's why he cast conjured light in the first place. However, conjured light doesn't work like a normal source of light. It only provides illumination up to 15 feet of the caster and no further. If he had stayed at the entrance, his spell wouldn't have done anything to help illuminate the scene. What does this mean? Lord Pierce, did you illuminate the crime scene or not? Well, I can answer that question for you, Your Honor. LOL, also my cookie is broken. Oh no, the poor cookie! Lord Pierce did illuminate the scene of the crime. He illuminated it because he was standing right where it happened. Mr. Cuthbert, are you trying to say that Lord Pierce was close to where the murder occurred? How could that be possible? Well, there's only one way the scenario would make sense, Your Honor. And that would be if Garrick Pierce was the one who murdered Flintheart McCoy. Hold on for a moment. This is absurd. I could have easily used a different spell to illuminate the room. And which spell would that be, Pierce? The name escapes me. I'm not sure which one it was now that I think about it. You idiot. Well, maybe we can figure it out together. When you relinquish your spell compendium to the court. What? This is a clear violation of my privacy. Steelwind, why aren't you objecting to this? If you had listened to my instructions, you wouldn't be in this situation. You've made your bed, now lie in it. Steelwind, you treacherous! That's enough. It appears that the prosecution has no objections. Of everything that has occurred, I must ask that Lord Pierce relinquish his spell compendium to the court. Thank you. It has prestidigitation, conjure light, conjure water, frost wave, and shape liquid. Does prestidigitation work just like it does in D&D? Any of these spells work like they do in D&D. Case prestidigitation. School, evocation, instant, none, snap of the fingers, duration indefinitely. The caster creates a simple and harmless visual effect around their hand. This effect will last as long as they maintain concentration on the spell. So that kind of is the same. Conjure water. Aquio. Outstretched palm, indefinitely, yes. Causes water to magically flow out of the caster's hand. This water will flow so long as the caster maintains concentration. Okay. Frost wave. School, transmutation, incantation, none, gesture, outstretch both hands, duration, instant. Anything caught within range is hit with a blast of extremely cold air. Liquid's hit will be immediately frozen, and organic life will immediately enter stages of hypothermia. Shape liquid. Got a lot of water spell. I'm starting to piece together what he did. Transmutation, incantation, figuagua, gesture, point, yes. While concentrating on the spell, the caster can magically manipulate up to 10 liters of liquid and form it into complex shapes at any time. The caster can choose to freeze the liquid and solidify its current shape. While frozen, the caster can also choose to make the liquid instantaneously melt. So that's probably how he got rid of the spells and stuff. And that's why the whole area is drenched into water. Good job, Tyrion. We got his spell compendium. With that, this case is as good as yours. Or is it? She didn't even try to stop you from taking his spell compendium. She wouldn't let that happen just to spite Lord Pierce. She definitely still has something up her sleeve. Your Honor, I've looked at the spells in Lord Pierce's compendium. Conjure Light is the only spell that he can cast that would shed blue light. This renders his testimony and many of his statements false. Yes. You can practically hear Lord Pierce grinding his teeth. Your Honor, Lord Pierce could very well be a suspect in the murder of Flintheart McCoy. The defense argues that this presents enough reasonable doubt to acquit the defendant. I acknowledge that Lord Pierce's actions are quite suspect. However, I will not pass a verdict just yet. There's much more we need to learn. What? That's not how it works. We provided that there's reasonable doubt. It should be enough to acquit me, right? In a normal case, maybe. But it's different for this trial. The public won't accept an unsolved homicide involving magic unless we can unequivocally prove your innocence. The court will keep drawing out this case. What? But that's not fair. That's just how the system works. Of course, the system doesn't exist to exact justice. It exists so that the kingdom can save face. No. However, the court will be suspending the trial of Celeste McCoy until further notice. That is, until Lord Pierce can be investigated as a possible suspect. Huh? A possible suspect? The very idea of that is preposterous, Your Honor. Damn it. You knew she was planning something. Also, I'm wondering why is there so many components next to my name? I mean, there's a diamond, a first, and a pyramid. Not that I mind. So the diamond is because I made you a VIP. The first is because you're a founder, because you're a 1-month subscriber. And the pyramid thingy is because you sent me bits. Let's revisit the basic facts of this case, shall we? Flintheart McCoy was murdered using a blade with a transmutation spell active on it. Mr. Cuthbert, why don't you tell me the spells that Lord Pierce knows? Alright. His spells are Prestidigitation, Conjure Light, Conjure Water, Frost Wave, and Shape Liquid. He could have easily killed him with a combination of the last three. Like, come on, guys. You've realized it too, haven't you? Lord Pierce doesn't know any transmutation spells that can be channeled through a solid object. What? That can't be right. And I know what they mean, LOL, and thanks for the VIP that I didn't even know I had. Yeah, I don't remember when I added it to you, but I did. You're right. You're absolutely right, Lady Steelwind. I couldn't have possibly committed the murder. I see. With that in mind, that would leave the defendant as the only possible killer. But he was the only other mage there. He has to be the real murderer. But he doesn't know any transmutation spells that can affect a solid object. We can't prove that he stabbed him while casting magic. Wait a minute. How did he do it then? She's right. How did he do it? If there are traces of transmutation magic on the wound, then Flintheart was definitely stabbed by something magical. Real quick. This isn't transmutation, that's transmutation. Okay, so he could have been killed with a combo with these two. Frost Wave and Shape Liquid. And that's what I'm going with. Then Flintheart was definitely stabbed by something magical, but none of his transmutation spells can affect the steel blade. Does that mean he used something else? Doubt! Hold up. The defense did cast some doubt on the witness's testimony. Nevertheless, I must conclude that he could not have possibly committed the murder. With that in mind, objection! Please wait, Your Honor. We still can't conclude that Lord Pierce couldn't have committed the murder. What are you on about? Lady Steelwind said it herself, you commoner. I don't know any spells that can be channeled through a metal blade. He's right, which can only mean one thing. You didn't use a metal blade, did you? Someone's unsettled. What nonsense is this? The autopsy report clearly states that the wound was created by a blade. If he didn't channel magic through a blade, how could he have possibly committed the crime? Yes, your claim seems quite contrary to the facts thus far, Mr. Cuthbert. Which spell did Lord Pierce use to commit the crime? Has to be Shape Liquid. Or Frost Wave. What's it? Okay, fine, Shape Liquid. Yeah. You see, Your Honor, Garrick Pierce didn't kill the victim using a sword. He killed him using an object shaped exactly like a sword. What? I'm afraid I don't quite understand, Mr. Cuthbert. I'd like for the court to take a look at Lord Pierce's spell compendium. Garrick Pierce knows a seemingly insignificant spell called Shape Liquid. With it, he can control a body of water and shape it into any complex shape he wants. Then he can freeze that liquid, maintaining its current shape. A shape like a sword. What? No. Is it possible that he... What do I have to say? What do I have to say for yourself, Lord Pierce? What do I have to say? Pierce's breathing becomes more frantic. He's clearly not used to being put in a corner like this. You can see his stress and frustration emanating through the Eye of Horus. You have him now. Time for the finishing blow. I'll tell you exactly what I have to say to you, commoner. I'm not the one on trial here. We're here because that bastard child didn't know her place. She's just a peasant, yet she still learned the arcane arts. And look what happened. I saw the murder. I witnessed everything. The girl used our holy arts to murder her father in a fit of rage. But we already discussed that. Wait. I saw the murder. I witnessed everything. I saw the murder. I witnessed everything. And how, pray tell, did you see everything? If you recall, you testified that you only took a single step inside the inn. But you would have needed to be within 15 feet to see my client with conjure light. This again, if you're going to keep treading on that detail, then I admit it. I stepped further into the inn. I kept the detail out of my testimony. All because I knew you'd use it to cast suspicion on me. Lord Pierce. But you didn't just keep that detail from your testimony, did you? You testified the opposite. That makes you guilty of committing perjury. No, I mean, ow. Ah, you miserable wretch. Perjury by Garrick Pierce has been added to your notes. And let's not stop there. For your story to be true, you would have needed to be within 15 feet of my client. According to your testimony, my client had just finished committing a murder. Wouldn't she have noticed you? Aye. If you were that close, then you would have surely been close enough to apprehend her. So why didn't you? Don't you have a duty to your citizens? Shut up. Shut your dirty peasant mouth. That woman was armed. I had no reason to put my life in danger. She was wielding her sword after the murder. I was terrified when I saw her holding that bloody sword. My life was in danger. Yeah, I just started to design. What was it again? Dang, the desk slams. Man, I'm shocked these desks haven't broke. She was wielding her sword after the murder. Wielding her sword after. She couldn't have been wielding the sword after the murder. But that can't be right, can it, Lord Pierce? This photo of the crime scene shows that the sword was left in the victim's body. How could she be wielding her sword if she left it there? Ah, damn you! Damn you! Steelwind, why aren't you saying anything? What? Prosecutor Steelwind has lost her usual air of confidence. You find it strange, though. Even when you had the advantage, she always maintained her usual poise. But Lord Pierce, please. There ain't nothing peaceful about this man. Please pull yourself together. How can I remain calm when this charlatan is trying to frame me? This is a complete travesty of our justice system. I came here to reveal the truth and testify against that criminal. And what do I get instead? Slander from some lowly defense attorney. I came here to reveal the truth and testify against that criminal. No, he claims that Celeste was holding her sword after the murder. Well, if his proposed sequence of events, that shouldn't be possible, so at least that proves. We already figured that out. It's the crime scene photo. What? I came here to reveal the truth and testify against that criminal. Reveal the truth. Oh, I presented his podium, not his testimony. You talk about justice, but you've committed several acts of perjury to twist the outcome of this trial. You're clearly not acting in good faith. Bye-bye. You don't care about justice. You just want to further your agenda. So admit it, Pierce. You created a makeshift sword using shaped liquid, and you used it to impale Flintheart. You shoved my client's sword into the wound while the remnants of the real murder weapon evaporated. It was the perfect crime, wasn't it? Aye. What? Lord Pierce? My apologies, Your Honor. It's just that I realized something absolutely hilarious. What? Has he finally lost his mind? The defense put forward an interesting theory, but there's one problem with it. And what's that? I think you said it yourself. You shoved Celeste's sword into the wound while the remnants of the real murder weapon evaporated. It was a perfect crime, wasn't it? You see, it would have been a perfect crime, because any evidence to support that theory would have evaporated with the frozen blade. What? No, he's right. If you used an ice blade to kill Flintheart, it would have evaporated by now. And that means there would be nothing left of the murder weapon. You've spun quite the tale here today, but in the end, you don't have a shred of evidence to support it, do you? Fuck! You have nothing on me! there anything we can do? You become quiet. Tyrion? Why isn't he saying anything? Is it really hopeless? But all it takes is one look at that expression on your face. Any worry she has instantly disappears. Because she realizes the expression on your face is the same expression you made every time you defeated her. What is this? You can glare at me all you want. It won't change the fact that you lost. I despise people like you. You twist the system to serve your own ends. You trample on the lives of innocent people. But as long as I'm here, I will never let that happen again.
Not.
Ooh. Empowered eye? What is this? What is this? Ugh, what did I just do? Your head feels like it's about to burst. The pain is unbearable and overwhelming. But at the same time, you feel an extreme sense of clarity. As if you can see more than you could before. I can't believe that peasant pushed me this far. Once again, you see Pierce's thoughts through the eye of Horus. But this sensation feels different from how it usually is. It's more intense and more potent this time. It's almost as if you can do more than just read his surface thoughts. Empowered Eye. You've activated the Empowered Eye. With it, you'll be able to do more than see the witness's thoughts. You'll also be able to affect what they think about. Project items into Pierce's mind to evoke thoughts from him. You'll want to protect items that can make him think about the murder. Project items that can make him think about the murder. Evoking the right thoughts will raise your insight. Once the insight gauge is filled, you'll have everything you need to implicate him. Interesting. So, project things that make him think about the murder. What about this? Even now, that image is still lingering in my mind. I didn't expect this experience to have such an effect on me. This doesn't give you anything that you can use. You should try something else. What an ornate sword. I wonder how a commoner like her obtained such a thing. I wonder if the Inquisition will let me have it once the girl is convicted. Seriously? Why am I thinking of such a thing? Maybe you'll see something if you project pieces of evidence related to the murder. I just want to see if it'll do something. After all the trouble I went to, I can't believe that lawyer figured out the spell I used. Well, no matter. It's not as if there's any evidence to prove that I used it. I'm lucky that old Fu had a bottle of water with him. Water from... That wasn't a bottle of water. Wait, a bottle? Well then. It's riveting as this has been. I believe it's time for me to take my leave. Nope, no, you stay. Now wait a minute, Pierce. What is it now, you wretch? I'll say this many times as you need to hear. There is no evidence of a liquefied weapon at the crime scene. Yes, there is. You're right, Pierce. If you did use shape liquid on a body of water, the murder weapon would have evaporated entirely. Ah, it seems you've finally gotten that fact through your thick head. Bravo! But let's not get ahead of ourselves, Pierce. What if you didn't use shape liquid on a body of water? What if it was another type of liquid? What are you going on about? Pierce, shape liquid doesn't just work on water. It works on all kinds of liquids. This shattered bottle contained the liquid that you cast your spell on, didn't it? Show him the picture of the shattered bottle of lotus juice. That bottle. Pierce, I found a shattered bottle on the ground near the victim's body. I wonder what caused it to shatter. You must have decided to use any liquid you could find. Luckily for you, the victim was holding the perfect quantity of liquid in his hands. I wonder, Lord Pierce, if we had someone analyze the broken pieces of this bottle, will we find traces of transmutation magic? You little... That still proves nothing. So what if there are traces of magic on the shattered bottle? You still don't have a murder weapon. I wasn't finished, Pierce. What? You see, the liquid contained in this bottle wasn't water. It was soda. So, what difference does that make? A blade of ice made out of water would have evaporated entirely. But a blade of ice made out of soda would leave a puddle of dried residue. No, it can't be. I'd wonder why there was such a circular trace of magic under the body. If we checked the outline of that trace, I'd bet we'd find a dried puddle of soda residue. That would prove that you used your magic on that soda. There's your murder weapon, Pierce. And that's checkmate. Bailiff, tell Orium to analyze the crime scene at once. We must determine if this puddle of soda residue exists. The time window to find traces of magic is closing. So, we had our team search the crime scene for that soda puddle. I really can't believe it, but we found it. In fact, the outline of the dried soda lines up exactly with the outline of the trace of transmutation magic. We checked the broken bottle, too. There were traces of transmutation magic on it as well. There's no doubt about it. Someone used magic on that soda. I see. Thank you, Orium. Please escort Laird Pierce back to the stand. What do you have to say for yourself, Pierce? What do you think you've accomplished here today? Do you honestly think you can indict me? I'm an aristocrat from the highest echelons of our society. That fool of a man was an insurgent. He was a threat to society, and I did my civic duty by removing him. Bailiff, please escort the witness to a holding cell. Steelwind? First-degree murder is punishable by execution, Lord Pierce. I suggest you remain silent, lest you incriminate yourself further. What? You can't be serious. Shut your insidious mouth. Well, what are you all waiting for? Take him away. Yes, take him away at once. I can't believe it. We actually won. Tyrion, It's all she can do to hold back tears. You don't need to say anything. Your face says it all. Thank you. You've more than exceeded my expectations today. Mr. Mora, I'll be honest. When I realized that the murder weapon evaporated, I thought the case was shot. I can't believe you were able to turn that around. It was just luck. If he had used water, we would have been done for. It had nothing to do with luck. You were able to deduce which liquid he used, and you did it just by looking at a few shards of broken glass. Your skills of deduction never cease to amaze me. It's not exactly true, but with Celeste there, you can't tell her about your new ability. You are all quite lively. There's no need for such hostility, though I wouldn't expect any less from the Hound of the Eye Taker. Oh, she got caught off guard. Wait, what does she mean by that? You glance at Miss Tamora, but when she meets your gaze, she immediately looks away. She looks like she's focusing, almost as if to protect herself from a certain eye. I must admit, I was hoping to test my blade against you directly. However, your protege proved to be a worthy adversary. Thank you? Is this some kind of game to you? You talk about trials as if there's some kind of competition. Your action almost condemned an innocent woman to death. Oops. Our system operates by having two powers of opposition. When those powers are balanced, justice prevails. Make no mistake, your victory today was just our system working as intended. Ha! Working as intended. You know very well our system only exists to protect your people. I know. What? In any case, it looks like we'll be facing each other more frequently in the future. I look forward to doing battle with you again, Tyrion Cuthbert. What a strange girl. Well, that kind of killed the mood, didn't it? Not at all. I think we should celebrate. Oh? What did you have in mind? There's this amazing restaurant in the upper quarter of the capital city. They usually only serve nobles, but they let anyone in if they have enough gold. Wait, do we have enough gold? Of course we do. Don't worry about the details. I'll handle everything. Wait, just how much money does Mr. Mora make? And so began my journey into the world of law and magic. Our justice system is rotten to its core, and I'll have many trials ahead. Regardless, I'll keep fighting on and get justice for every one of my clients. Hey, we finished the first episode. What up? Wait, hold up. This is the start of episode 2. No, it's still episode 1. This feeling, I knew it. His radiant soul has finally awakened. I can't believe it. I've been waiting for so long. I can't wait for the day when I can see his eyes draped in agony. I'm sorry. Did she just say she can't wait for the day that his eyes are dripped in agony? Well, we did the first case. Now we have about like 20 more cases to go. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 more cases to go. I don't know how to feel about that Sheik saying what she did. But we're going to pretend we're going to leave that for later. Thank you guys for coming out and watching the stream. That was a lot of fun, actually. I really like this game.